Hey Dan, can you hear me? All right, just to let you know, Harv told me he was going to try to send these guys out in their qualifying times, but most definitely Joel Hetrick will come out first off the gate, and Chad Weenan will be second. We do know that for sure, but he's going to try to go with qualifying times past that if he can. Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, it goes by the both combined, which that one down there, it should be Joel Hetrick with a 158.6, Chad Weenan with a 2-minute .332. Okay. All right, I'll get you that. It's over. It's down at E-score. I'll get it. Okay. Yep, that's it. Yep, I got you. I know. I just remember we can do that. Damn. Yeah, I'll verbalize. Since we got the technology, we're going to utilize it. That's his chair, yeah. We'll move that. Okay, we should. Is this mic 2 right here? Did you check? Unmute. Unmute. Run solo.
champagne pops and they're spraying it down there, getting ready, having some fun on the podium. Once again, give a hand to Patrick Weenan and Thomas Brown, your top three.
From the moment you arrive, you can feel it. There's just something about this place. An unexplainable awe, yet an undeniable demand for respect. It's simple, really. This place is special. Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, the home of country music legend Loretta Lynn, and the holy grail of off-road motorsports. Located just 80 miles west of Nashville on Interstate 40, Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch is a family travel destination year-round. If you're looking for that laid-back, slow-moving, southern living type of relaxation, the kind Miss Loretta sings about in her songs, the ranch, as I like to call it, has you covered. But somewhere lost in that tranquility lies a fierce history you can almost read from the scars on the land. For a couple weeks of the year, in the muggy dog days of summer, those scars are opened and new history written. Green pastures transformed into a legendary battleground, known throughout the global off-road racing community as the pinnacle of competition. The ranch plays host to just 3 prestigious events a year, where only the elite gladiators in moto dare to risk. It takes a legendary track to produce legendary riders. For decades, competitors young and old, on 2 wheels and on 4, have committed their everyday existence to readying themselves for this battle. The opportunity to claim their spot in history and the glory that comes with the title of champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the dog days are upon us, and new champions are about to be crowned yet again. Welcome to history. Welcome to racing. Welcome to the final round of Mountain Dew ATVMX Championship. Welcome to the ranch, where legends are born.
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 33rd annual running of Dirt Days here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. It's all a part of the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross National Championship in the final round of 2015. I'm Rodney Tomlin along with Megawatt Matt Watson, and also Casey Greek is going to be here with us in just a little bit. We've dubbed him Casey the Greek because this guy seems to know everything that's going on. And Megawatt, as we make our return back here to Loretta Lynn's, I tell you, what a great affair we have the stage set for here today. As 2015 started out, we started out with the ATV Supercross there in Daytona International Speedway, and then we went a couple of rounds before we had a chance to actually see ATV racing, and we got to see them again at High Point. The following round, we got to see them there at the Ironman ATV National for the inaugural running of ATV Motocross there. And here we are at the end of the season, and we have the stage set for a great championship wrap-up where 15 points separate first and second place. And this is something that hasn't happened in a couple of years. Chad Weenan normally has the championship wrapped up when we get to this point. But as we go for, or as he goes for championship number 4, looks like this one could be a little bit up in the air. 15 points is a lot, but this is Loretta Lynn's.
Hey, it's going to be a heater for sure, Rodney. Let me tell you, 15 points, not a ton by any means. Last round, a lot of things can happen. From the first turn to the checkered flag, there's a lot of time and a lot of dirt.
Most certainly, and I tell you what, to set the stage for today's race and this Dirt Days 2015 and the 33rd running of this, we caught up with both Joel Hetrick and Chad Weenan heading into this weekend to get their mindset. And, you know, both of them are both thinking, I think, the most positive things that they can think heading into this weekend, and both want to win.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, like, any sort of, like, competitors that are competing for a championship, no matter how much, like, you get along or anything like that, you still have to have a chip on your shoulder for the other rider. And this is one of those things where, you know, Joel's never done anything wrong to me, and, you know, I've never done anything wrong to him. So it's obviously you gotta have that fight in you. You know, that competitor gets around you or, like, it's in front of you, you gotta push for it, and you gotta go for him. And you know, we get along off the track. You know, I wouldn't say we're, you know, best friends or anything like that, but, you know, it's, you know, we respect each other. I think that's a big thing. And you know, we go out there and we race clean. We don't race dirty. You know, we race a race, and you know, let the checkered flag at the end of the race, you know, settle the score. So, you know, I think we both look at it the same way, that, you know, we try to go out there and do the best we can.
The battle between me and Chad is definitely always fierce on the track. We're two strong competitors, and we both don't like to lose. And when I go out in the track, I definitely don't have any friends, so I'm not going to give him an inch, and he's not going to give me an inch. And we go out there every race pushing for wins, and you know, it gets a little dirty sometimes, but we come off the track and shake hands and go to the next round.
Well, there you go. They may not be friends. They may not be enemies. We can dub them frenemies, I guess. We've heard that term used loosely around the race pits, I think, Megawatt. But one thing's for certain, I think both of these riders seem to respect each other a whole lot.
No question, they understand each other. They understand the game. They know where they're at in the championship, and they know what each other's done to get to this point. And yeah, there is a lot of mutual respect there. But like Waynon said, the bottom line is when you get to the starting line, there's no real friends, and one person has to win a championship, and it's going to be the guy that's willing to hang it out that's going to win that championship.
No doubt about it. And speaking of championships, right now as we look at the point standings, it is a 15-point gap back between Chad Waynon and Joel Hetrick. Thomas Brown sits with 381 points. He's some 40 points or so back in the number 3 spot. Josh Upperman, he's got that pretty much locked up. Josh Upperman, 278. And also we got Jeffrey Rochelle with 276 points. So we've got a real battle going on in the point standings, but it's for the 4 and 5 spots right now in that championship run. So that's pretty cool. Also not far out of a top 5 overall position is Nick Janusa. Nick Janusa is a rookie, AMA Pro ATV rookie this year. He is also a top contender for a Pro-Am championship, but as well has been deemed, I think, by results, and we've watched it all, the the AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year, and that's a pretty big honor as far as being a rookie in ATV motocross, in any sport, really.
No doubt about that. And let me tell you about Janusa Speed. Janusa Speed is coming each and every round. No question about that. Like you said, being dubbed a rookie and Rookie of the Year is a huge honor. But let me tell you, he's finding that next level. He knows where he's going, and he's rising to the occasion without question.
Well, we caught up with Nick heading into the weekend, and obviously a very successful season, and hoping for a successful end of that with a big exclamation point here at Loretta Lynn's.
Hey guys, this is Nick Janusa. It was my rookie year this year in 2015 for Pro Class. My expectations coming into the year was a top 8-ish, kind of in that area, and it turned out really well. I was in 5th for a majority of the season, and I went back to 6th, but I'm still holding 6th, and I might even get 5th in points. It's not over yet, but I'm really happy with how things went. You know, I worked my butt off all winter with John Natale, and couldn't really be happier. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better season to go how it's going so far, and next year I'm in the same program as what it's looking like so far, and I'm going to try to move up to that 3-4 spot and just move up from there.
Well, you know, that's kind of a great tradition to be deemed AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year like that, and it's quite a bit of an honor. And I know that each racer that has been distinguished that over the course of the last few years, they all seem to be doing very well, and I believe that we're going to see an influx of great talent in the coming future. You know, talking of tradition and dirt days, what's really cool is we have probably one of the biggest traditions at Dirt Days is one individual in particular, and that is probably one of the most infamous ATV pro racers out there on the circuit. We're talking about none other than Joe Bird himself.
Yeah, the Birdman got a long history down here, got a unbelievable streak he's trying to keep alive. And when you talk about legends of the game, you know, the guy's a living legend.
He most certainly is. And Joe, 42 years old, the oldest rider in the ATV pro ranks right now, and I don't think he's slowing down anytime soon. I know he's got plans of racing next year, but I just think it's really neat. You know, Joe has been here, as we say, this is his 30th season here. He has won this event 5 times. The first time he won was 20 years ago, back in 1995. That's pretty amazing, I think.
You better believe that's pretty amazing. To get it done and still be relevant, a lot of guys reach this mark in their career, and let me tell you, they're out there riding around 21st, 22nd, 23rd position, getting some satellite rides, milking some sponsors.
Yeah.
And that's not the case here. This guy's relevant. This guy's involved. This guy's a factor at any given ride or race he shows up to.
Yeah, Joe has finished several top 10 finishes so far this year, and I think being here at the Birdhouse will certainly help him out quite a bit. And by the way, we did have a chance to get caught up with the living legend himself.
Hi, I'm Joe Bird, Pro Quad Racer number 7. I've been coming to Loretta Lynn's for 30 years. This is actually my 30th race here. I actually would race more than that, but when you used to have TTM motocross, they had double headers here. So I don't know how many races I've raced here, but 30 years in a row. I think they started racing three-wheelers here 3 or 4 years maybe before that. I actually came the last year they raced three-wheelers here, and then since they've raced a four on this soil, I've been racing ever since. And, you know, I've been racing 30 years consecutively since then, and I keep coming back here, obviously, because it's close to home. It's obviously to follow the points championship, and it's usually the final race of the year. And one of my favorite tracks, I've actually built my track at home real similar to this, or at least the way it used to be before they kind of changed it, tamed it down, and made it different, put it that way. So, but yeah, it's in the heat. I'm real close to here, so I'm used to the humidity, used to the heat, and I've had real good luck here. I've won here 5 pro wins, I think 6 or 7 total, and I've had a really good time here. So this place definitely likes Joe Bird, and I guess that's why they call it the Birdhouse.
And that's exactly why we call it the Birdhouse Megawatt 5 times. But here's something really cool. If you look at the stats right now, Chad Weenan currently has 4 wins here himself, and he could be challenging Joe's record if he takes the win here this weekend. He'll tie it up, actually.
You know, that's a big statement right there. You know, when you think about tying up Bird at race wins anywhere, anytime, that's a big deal, but especially when it comes to a place like Loretta Lynn's. And Chad's got a great opportunity to do that here this weekend.
He most certainly does, and I know that looking at time qualifying, we look at those lap times right now, and Joel Hetrick comes into this one with a total score, or total lap time, his fastest lap time, I should say, a 1:58.6. And when you hear this next fastest lap time, which was scored by Chad Weenan, if you follow the ATV Motocross National Championship, you may be a little shocked. Get ready to pick your mouth up off the floor, folks. Almost an entire 2 seconds faster was Joel Hetrick than Chad Weenan, as he scored a 2:03 lap time. Jeffrey Rastrelli, your third fastest qualifier at a 2:02.6. Thomas Brown was fourth fastest at a 2:02.8. Josh Upperman a 2:03.6. Looking at that, that was a full look at 5, almost 6 seconds in between first through fifth, and that's something we haven't seen traditionally this year. Normally, we're splitting hairs and looking at a 1.5 seconds back to the top 5.
You know, very true, but as I mentioned, when we saw that time from Hetrick, man, oh man, yes, absolute fastest time, but Weenan did not have to find 2.5 to 3 seconds in those couple laps. He did not have to find it. There was very little to gain by trying to up that number. Joel Hetrick set the number. Chad Weenan saw it. He knew it was there, and there wasn't really a lot to be gained for Weenan to try to beat that number.
Well, I tell you what, this track is certainly got a major race face. They hauled in a lot of sand. We'll talk about here in just a little bit, but we let's hop on board with Joel Hetrick during one of those qualifying laps there a little bit ago, as we take a ride with the GoPro helmet cam and Joel Hetrick.
Sit back and hang on.
Now here we are coming out. Now, these are what we call the short sheets, and this is like right out of the third turn out of that little start section, heading toward the 10 Commandments. This is what we'll refer to as the bold turn, maybe the Kemetic turn there, a hard right-hand turn into the 10 Commandments. As you can see, the 10 Commandments a little more commanding than what they have been the last couple of years. I think people were calling them the 10 Suggestions the last few years, but they've got them back to Commandments here. Back into a section that we call Storyland. This area has a lot of mystery to it in a lot of ways. It's the farthest reach of the racetrack, the hardest to see from our vantage point, and oftentimes they disappear for just a moment, come back in sight, and you see the changes. Well, here we see them making the drive back out of Storyland. As they head around this tree, they'll go by what we call the waterworks, where our water trucks and the equipment and stuff are stored, and into the world-famous Rocky Mountain sweeper turn. This is a big sweeper turn that is probably about 60 or 70 feet wide. You've got a lot of options through there. Into a hard left-hander over a new obstacle we call the Rocky Mountain, over that Yamaha jump into the hard right-hander, over the Kawasaki Camelback, which has been a tradition here at Loretta Lynn's for a lot of years, and into the big traditional Amsoil sweeper turn there, which has developed about 3 lines through there. We've seen them going 3 wide, and this right here, a Mountain Dew final turn, 2 definite lines, well-defined lines to get that drive to the finish line that we see right here. And a new section of the track, that right there was changed, one of the oldest sections on the racetrack. That was changed just prior to the start of the two-wheel national, but that was the oldest jump still left on the racetrack. They tore that jump out, rebuilt it, repositioned it, and made it a little different. It actually created a pretty good element to the racing. The changes, the subtle changes we see made there to the racetrack itself have really created a lot of passing opportunities, I think. And we got to tip our hat to Randy Poulter once again, who is a major player as far as the Mountain Dew track crew is concerned.
That guy's a machinery magician, man. I'm telling you, watch him run a machine. He is efficient at everything he does, Rodney. From simply grooming the track, facing up a jump, fixing a landing, or totally replacing an obstacle, building a new obstacle. Randy's just absolutely about as efficient as they come. We watched him change this track's entire face in about 24 hours' time. We went to bed with one track and woke up with a new track, Rodney, and I just can't say enough about his ability to reshape a track, to design a track, and maintain one.
Yes, most definitely, and he's been a great addition to the 2015 Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship Series. As we look out on the track right now, you're noticing some amateur racing. That is our college 16 to 24-year-old class. By the way, we've got over 700 entries here this weekend.
Wow.
One of the largest turnouts we've had so far. A lot of classes with 2 divisions, even some with 4 divisions in them, where only 4 riders get to qualify to second moto. So, I mean, that's we got a lot of competition this week. The college 16 to 24 on the racetrack right now as we speak.
I tell you, what a testament to the series, what a testament to the competition, that many people are down here and signed up. You know, that tells me that they're drawing the kind of people that want this professional event, that want this kind of track, that want this kind of series that they can count on the consistency in week after week after week.
No doubt about it, and they've got it right here with the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Nationals. And don't forget, if you missed any of the great action, we've got most every round. If it's not, it'll be up on RacerTV.com. If it hasn't shown live, it'll be on MAV TV, and then we'll archive it there on RacerTV.com. So be sure and watch that, and make sure you're paying attention also to RacerTV.com throughout the year. All racing all the time, as we have this distinct and great privilege once again to bring to the folks across the worldwide globe ATV motocross.
Yeah, I tell you, a far cry from when I was a kid, man. We used to have to wait for 1-900 INF Moto to get results, Sunday night, Monday morning. These guys can watch live. They can pull up archives. They can join us 24/7. Anytime around the clock, they can watch any race they want to watch, anything that we've done.
Yep, no doubt about it. And I think it's proven that we certainly, the folks out there are hungry for ATV motocross, as Daytona ATV Supercross actually bolstered the top ratings we've seen so far with Racer TV, at least up until that point. I haven't checked recent ratings, but I'll tell you, RacerTV.com is certainly growing, no doubt about it.
No question. Proud to be part of it. And you mentioned Daytona. Man, oh, man, what a burner that was, huh? Woo! Put some age on you and I on a weekend.
Yeah, started out with that and wrap it up with Dirt Days, man. I tell you, you couldn't ask for a better championship season. Hey, folks, we got AMA Pro ATV Racing coming at you in just a couple moments, and RacerTV.com's live coverage of Dirt Days 2015 continues right after this.
Any engine.
Can you hear me now?
Any season.
We're not going out.
At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL for any engine.
And welcome back to Dirt Days 2015, the 33rd annual running of this illustrious fair, the oldest race on the ATV National Circuit. Actually, in its beginning, Dirt Days was the only national ATV race and was considered the ATV National Championship. It eventually gave birth to what we now know as the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross National Championship, and it's known as the world's greatest ATV race and vacation. Dirt Days originally hosted an ATVMX, an ATV round track, and an ATV hare scrambles all in 1 week as a part of the national championship.
Wow, I didn't get to experience that, Rodney, but that sounds like a blast. Now, I understand they had a flat track back in their Area 4 or something back there.
Yeah,
so they actually had
Area
a TT kind of flat track going on, had our motocross, and then naturally they used the GNCC course as a hare scrambles track.
Yeah, no doubt. So
wow.
A pretty interesting, I think, history that we have here at Loretta Lynn. You know, though, after only a few years, hare scrambles were dropped. That was due to the growing motocross portion, as well as round track became TT, like you said. That lasted until the late 1990s. And until then, in that time, ATV Motocross and TT, known as the Extreme Dirt Track Series, were combined to achieve one ultimate champion. The series was then called the Grand National Championship, or the GNC.
Yep.
It is now an AMA Pro ATV Motocross Champion. This is the AMA National Motocross Championship titles that we race for here in Mountain Dew ATV Motocross. And one guy that is trying to capture his first AMA Pro ATV Championship is our fastest qualifier today by the name of Joel Hetrick. And Casey Greek is standing by with him down on the starting line right now.
Thanks, Rodney. I'm down here with Joel Hetrick, your ATV rider's fastest qualifier. Joel, we've seen you down here many times this year, and we always kind of go through the same method. What does it mean to you? What does it really mean today, being that there is a championship on the line, and it all kind of boils down to you were almost 2 seconds faster than a lap than Chad Wienen. So go through that and kind of tell me how the importance is of that program.
Oh, it's definitely important to be a top qualifier out here at the last race. This is all or nothing out here. It's the championship on the line. You know, we still got a lot of points to gain, but I'm not going to let them have it for sure. I'm going to go out there and put 2 hard motos in, and you know, hopefully I can get a 1-1 and end the season strong. And you know, if I don't get the championship this year, I've had an awesome year. 10 moto wins, won the qualifier awards, the whole shot awards. It's just been a great year for me, and it's a great confidence booster to earn this qualifier award today.
Awesome, Joel. Good luck today, and go out there and get them, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Casey Greek. Congratulations to Joel Hetrick, and he's got the right mindset coming into this. So the only thing he can do is go out and race his race, basically, and hope for the best to happen behind him. And just to tell you a little bit about that ATVRiders.com Top Qualifier Award. It's a championship within a championship, and the winner gets a $1,000 bonus at the series-ending banquet coming up in November. Regardless of who the top qualifier winner is at Loretta, here today, Joel Hetrick won this one. Already had it locked up coming into it. He just kind of put the deal on the champion, sealed the deal on the championship. He led with 8 top qualifier awards leading into this. That's 9 top qualifying awards out of 11 in 2015. That's pretty impressive, to say the least.
That's huge, without question. To come out and it's almost unprecedented to come out and win that many of the awards. Let me tell you something. That makes a statement in itself, Rodney. Not much else has to be said.
No, it does not. And as we head down to the starting line right now, our pro riders are getting poised and ready to go for the start of Moto number 1. And before they do that, they're going to take their sighting laps down here today. And that will give us the opportunity to introduce to you our starting lineup for today's AMA Pro ATV season finale. 16 riders making their way here to the hot dog days of summer known as Dirt Days.
You better believe the hot dog days, no question about it, man. 90-plus degrees today, 95 degrees tomorrow. Near 100%.
That's what the thermometer says. Heat index is reaching over 100.
That was going to be the next point. So, hey, with that being said, I believe we're going to get our sight lap underway, and we'll get some introductions rolling, man.
And, of course, as we turn our attention down to the starting line, he qualified first fastest here today. He rides aboard the number 88 with a qualifying time of 1 minute, 58 seconds, 0.6 tenths of a second. He hails out of Seneca, Pennsylvania on a Corrosion Specialties, Hetrick Racing, Maxxis Tires, DWT Wheels, Elka, Impact Solution, Walsh Racecraft, SSI Decals backed Honda. Talking about Kid Dynamite, Joel Hetrick. And coming up next, second fastest qualifier, your 3-time defending AMA Pro ATV champion from Galena, Illinois, on the Wiener Motorsports SSI Decals Walsh Yamaha, Chad Weenan. He is our third fastest qualifier today. He rides aboard the number 728, hailing from Palm City, Florida, on a Gunk Liquid Rich JB Racing backed Can-Am, Jeffrey Rastrelli. So waiting for those guys to make their way off the starting line right now. And Joel Hetrick is, I thought they told me to go. They were telling me to go, so I went with it. So the guys down on the starting line, not so ready. But you can see they're even, now I want to point out something. Look at the umbrella on the ATV. There is an important significance to why that is there.
Obviously, we want to keep everything from the tires cool to we don't want any increased heat on those radiator hoses and that type of thing. All of that builds heat. Go ahead.
And fuel. Remember last week we had a couple of riders actually boil their fuel in the tank, and it caused their racing to be halted.
I was going to say, lastly, most importantly, but each and every one of those systems, believe me, that heat can change the air in the tires. It can change the engine coolant temperature just by sitting in the sun. And as you mentioned, boiling fuel, man, oh man, nothing worse to happen at the start of a race.
All righty, let's try this one more time. Take 2. We introduce to you our top AMA Pro ATVs heading into Dirt Days 2015, the 33rd annual running. Once again, qualifying first fastest with a lap time of 1:58.6, hailing from Seneca, Pennsylvania, on the Corrosion Specialties, Hetrick Racing, Maxxis Tires, DWT Wheels, Elka, Impact Solutions, Walsh Racecraft backed Honda, Kid Dynamite, Joel Hetrick. He qualified second fastest today. He hails from Galena, Illinois. Once again, a 3-time and defending AMA Pro ATV champion, hoping to seal the deal on championship number 4 on the Wiener Motorsports SSI Decals Walsh factory-backed Yamaha, Big Chad Weenan. Third fastest today, rolling out of the gate aboard the 728 out of Palm City, Florida, on the Gunk JB Racing and Liquid Wrench back Can-Am, Jeffrey Rastrelli. He qualified fourth fastest today with a lap time of 2:02.8. He hails out of the great state of Texas on board the number 84, an SSI Decals, Walsh Racecraft, Maxxis, I should say, that's a Maxxis-powered Yamaha out of Sanger, Texas, Thomas Brown. Fifth fastest qualifier today aboard the number 20 from Louisville, Ohio on a fly, JBR Racing, DWT, Root River Racing, Rage ATV backed Honda, Josh Upperman. Sixth fastest qualifier today, riding aboard the number 665 from Cutler, Illinois on the Honda, Ronnie Higgerson. Qualifying seventh fastest today, welcoming back from the West Coast, your Quad Cross California champion. He qualified with a lap time of 2:04.227. That is Dave Hagsma Jr. He's from Bakersfield, California, by the way, and also qualifying eighth fastest today, riding aboard the number 40 from Kaukauna, Wisconsin on the Jansen Motorsports powered Valvoline Oils backed Honda, Cody Jansen. He made his AMA Pro Racing debut here 1 year ago, hailing from Argentina by way of Union City, Tennessee on a Joe Bird Racing Honda Vidal Casanave. Qualifying 10th fastest, grabbing the whole shot 2 weeks ago at the Redbud ATV National on board the number 75 from Frenchburg, Kentucky on the Vetri Racing Honda, Casey Martin. Qualifying 11th fastest today, he rides aboard the number 15. He is your AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year for 2015 on the Janusa Racing Maxxis-backed Yamaha, Nick Janusa. He qualified 12th fastest today, recently celebrated the birth of his second child, a son, from Montezuma, Iowa on a Hetrick Racing Maxxis Tires Corrosion Specialties SSI Decals Honda, Sean Taylor. Qualifying 13th fastest today, riding aboard the number 7, celebrating his 30th year here at Dirt Days at Loretta Lynn's Ranch on a Joe Bird Quad Riding School, Walsh DASA, Joe Bird Training Facility, ITP-backed Honda, Joe Bird. Qualifying 14th fastest today, aboard the number 68 machine. He is one of the top contenders for the Pro-Am Championship himself. He hails from Argentina on the T. Brown Racing Yamaha, Nico Cabe. He qualified 15th fastest right here from the great state of Tennessee, riding aboard the number 32 from Bulls Gap on a Fifth Line Racing Ulrich Performance KT83 Hyperion-backed Honda, Silas Lamons. And last and certainly not least, qualifying 16th today, aboard the number 91, hailing from Mount Pleasant, Iowa on a Pro Motorsports Yamaha, backed by DASA, Fox Jocks, Dr. D, Lone Star, and Precision, as well as Maxxis Tires, Jesse Barnes. That is your pro class here today for Moto number 1. That's the way they stack up heading into this first Moto. Fastest to our 16th fastest rider on the racetrack today as far as pro time qualifying is concerned. And I'll tell you, Matt Watson, this particularly is going to be one of those races that is, we talk about the constantly changing track, but this particular track here today, I think we'll see a quicker, faster, more aggressive change than we've seen any track so far this year.
No question. You got 16 of the fastest quad racers in the world attacking this track. 16 times 4 on the tires, so that's twice as many as you have if you got the bikes out there, no question. So it's going to take a beating. These things making almost 60 horsepower to the rear wheels, and like I said, 16 of the most talented ATV riders in the world at the helm. You're going to see this track take on a new face about every 3 laps.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it, and the nerves and anticipation beginning to build as we check out our starting line right now, and you see how folks have chosen their start positions out here. Interestingly enough, you know, you talk to different people, outside, inside, middle of the gate. Depends, I think, more of where you're most comfortable, where the best starting position is, because this is one of the most fair starting gates I've seen in motocross.
Yeah, absolutely. That's flat all the way through that first right-hander, and that's odd alone, being a right-hand first turn. And then moving into that left-hand second turn. But I can tell you, inside, outside, in the middle, you're 100% right. Where do you like to start?
And I heard of people, like we said, pulling it from the complete outside, pulling one from the complete inside to the inside of the dog box, to the outside of the dog box. It's just a matter of where you like to start. And look at this, way on the outside. Was that Nico Covey going to try to sweep the outside there?
Nico planned on carrying a gear high, not downshifting, and keeping that momentum up. Megawatt goes 4 boxes inside the 4 gates inside the dog box and prays for an inside start.
Well, the stage is set. As we can see, the Moto girls have made their way off the racetrack, and the 30-second card is about to go up. And AMA Pro ATV Motocross is underway here at Dirt Days, and the final motos of 2015 are underway. And look at this. Is that whom I think it is? Is that Joel Hetrick grabbing that whole shot out there?
That looked like Joel crossed the white line first, and that is him in the white gear. So Joel choosing to go up and over through turn 2. Look at this. 6 quad links already headed for that short chute, Rodney. We talked about bumps from one end to the other. Look at this. Joel's going to cut it to the inside. He's going to choose to single in right now and then start the double process, and able to really maintain a nice lead and actually pull some gap through there, Rodney.
Well, Hetrick, look at this, a 2-second faster lap, and you can see he's going to try to put that 2 seconds on these guys in this first lap of racing as we head into Storyland. Kid Dynamite exploding out of the gate now as he is establishing early dominance here at Loretta Lynn's as we look back to the number 2 spot now and try to get a line on who we've got trying to sort things out there. We've already seen a pass taking place, and I believe that maybe Chad Wienen has now moved into the number 2 spot as we look just a little further back behind Joel Hetrick.
I think you may be correct about that being Wienen, but somebody lit the fuse on Kid Dynamite right out of the blocks. This guy up and over the bars, elbows up. Did you see how aggressive, Rodney, coming through the 10 Commandments and then the following rhythm section? That guy's letting the bike hang out, standing that thing straight up.
I'm not sure. Was that Casey Martin? We might be able to get a replay on that, but wow, we got one rider out there in that Rocky Mountain sweeper turn. Was actually went tumbling. And we turn our attention back out here, and that is Big Chad Wienen in the number 2 spot as he is not far off pace of Hetrick right now as we round the final turn. That 3rd place position back there, that's the rider that I'm real wondering about. That's Dave Hagsma, the 422. Okay. Hagsma got off to a great start. We saw, I believe, at the Ironman ATV Motocross. Vital Kazanavi, I thought he might be up there also, and he was. He's in 4th. That's Thomas Brown back to the number 5 spot. Ronnie Higgerson running 6th. Joe Bird is 7th. Rastrelli, the 728 and 8th. Nico Kabi at 9th. Casey Martin rounding out your top 10. A little bit of a flip-flop through some of these riders. We should expect to see, or normally expect to see, Rastrelli up a little farther, Brown up a little farther. But, man, I tell you, already the things are shaking up, and we may see a whole different face to this race. And that could shake up some things back here in the other part of our championship. Maybe not up front for the title, but for that 3rd place position we were talking about, that could mix things up for sure.
I absolutely look for that to come into play, Rodney. I look for that 3rd place or so to be under fire here today. Now, already we see Hetrick out there setting a good lap time. Chad following in right behind him. Now, got to remember, 15 points, a bit of points, but not insurmountable, not a ton. But the thing is, if Chad puts his thing on cruise control, if he gets in there and he follows, all he has to do is keep an eye on Joel, keep Joel honest, and he's a champion.
Well, the roughness of this racetrack on lap 1 has separated the field. I think the front runners anyway. Hetrick, 3 seconds, 2.969. We'll call it 3, rounding up, is ahead of Chad Wienen right now, who is 3.1 seconds ahead of Hagman. We got finally looking at the battle starting to shape up back there, and what we got going on back there, Megawatt?
Well, what it looks like to me is we got a fight on our hands just outside of the top 2, and it looks like Hegsman, let me see, Thomas Brown, and those guys really coming under fire right now. All those guys looking for that number 3 spot right now.
That is it. That's exactly what's going on. Hagsma, Kazanavi, Brown. Don't forget Ronnie Higgerson in there as well, as he is a factor as we got a 4-man shootout taking place right now. And is that Higgerson up to the number 4 spot quite possibly, and I think maybe Brown, or is that 4 and 5, but whichever it is, Brown has moved up a position, I think.
Yeah, we mentioned Brown earlier. He's on the move, and look at this. We got 4 riders that actually want that number 3 position.
That is Hagsma, Brown, Higgerson, and now we see Kazanavi back there, and Jeffrey Rastrelli now coming to play.
So all of a sudden, we've got a total change in 3rd through 7th place.
Wow, that is intense. And right now, Brown 7/10 a second ahead of Higgerson. Vital Kazanabe 7/10 back. Rastrelli 7/10 back. And that may not be the case now as we head out of the SSI Decals Whole Shot Forest now. It's drag race. Look how rough that racetrack is going down them short chutes right now.
I'm telling you, Rodney, as soon as you come out of the corner, you're on the gas. As soon as you get on the gas, you're on the brakes. So the acceleration bumps flow right into the braking bumps. There is no smooth spot in between.
Mercy sakes alive, the smoothest place on
big
this.
move exiting the commandments right there. Holy cow. Launched that thing up, I believe, went for 3.
It looked like he was certainly doing that. I believe we're watching Thomas Brown right now, and Thomas Brown, Ronnie Higgerson battling right now for the number 4 spot on the far side of the racetrack and working their way back in from out of Storyland now.
I tell you, you see how that works right there. Outside, carrying the momentum, carrying a gear tall. And look at this. Is the pass going to be made right here? Back to the inside goes Higgerson, and Brown's having none of it.
Wow, that is impressive stuff coming past the waterworks right now. What has gotten into Ronnie Higgerson, man? He's really been toying with a lot of speed lately, and he's starting to really put it together, and he is starting to become a factor race after race in this top 5 right now.
We talked about him just a little bit ago, and Rodney, races like this bring out the best in everybody lots of times, whether it's the vet, whether it's the up-and-comer, but sometimes it takes a race like this, it takes a situation like this where a guy needs to prove a point, and guess who that guy is today?
That's going to be Ronnie Higgerson, I think.
You better
the
believe
almost
it.
Evil Ronnie Higgerson, 6'6'5" is his number. I did that. But
almost evil.
Almost evil. He's almost 6'6'5". But he's also becoming the Flash, Ronnie the Flash Higgerson. I mean, he's getting pretty quick. And, you know, I say that because he really, I mean, always a fast guy, but we've seen a burst of consistent speed come out of him about midway through this season.
And we mentioned that. He got a taste of it. He knows he belongs up there. He knows he belongs up there. He knows he can't run that pace. And it's just when a guy realizes he can do it every week.
After 3 laps of racing, working on 4 now. Joel Hetrick with a 6-second lead over Chad Weenan. Weenan now 7 seconds ahead of third-place ride Dave Hagsma. Fourth place, Thomas Brown, a 4.4-second gap. And then we got Ronnie Higgerson only 1.9 seconds back at 5th. Rastrelli now moving up into the number 6 spot. Joe Bird holding steady at 7. Nick Janusa outside the top 10, now up to 8th place. Casey Martin, the 75, is 9th. Cody Jansen, last year's top AMA Pro ATV rookie, and Valvoline, he's featured in the AutoZone, and also Valvoline ads there for AutoZone as that, using ATV oils. Cody Jansen rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, two truly automotive companies right there choosing to use them as a platform and get their product out there and be a representative. Just absolutely incredible.
I'll tell you, my big question right now for Casey Greek is what happened to Josh Upperman? He's our man down on track level. The number 20, Josh Upperman, just checked in with his third lap complete, but he has dropped way off the pace. Now he's all the way back in 16th position.
You know what? He was still running a 2:09, which would have put him up here, you know, in 7th, 8th position without question. Probably about 6th position, somewhere 7th, and all of a sudden clear back to 16th. So something doesn't make sense there, Rodney.
So we're getting reports that Upperman actually took a little tumble there and is trying to regain composure back from that. So that is a tough break for him. Joel Hetrick followed by Weenan. They check in now with 7 seconds. Dave Hagsman now in 9.9 seconds back to the number 3 spot. In the 4th place position then is Thomas Brown. Ronnie Higgerson still back in 5th. And look at this. Higgerson is going back for it. A 2:06 by Thomas Brown. Higgerson just under the 2:05. So we got a race again going on for the number 4 position between the 84 and the 665. Almost evil Ronnie.
Almost evil, not letting go of it. I can tell you this much. He sees Thomas Brown right there. He knows he's right in front of him, and he's watching every move he's making. So one little mistake, Higgerson's there to jump all over it.
Wow, look at this. Lap times 1:58 in qualifiers. The fastest lap we've seen so far was a 2:02.24, and that was turned by Joel Hetrick on lap 2. Lap times since then have dropped to 2:02s, almost 2:03s. That's the condition this racetrack is in right now. Here's that battle we were talking about coming through the 10 Commandments. Less than a second between the bumper of Thomas Brown and the nose of Ronnie Higgerson now as the almost evil one tracking down T. Brown into Storyland.
And just like we said, there it is. Higgerson's right there, like you mentioned on his bumper. Did you see that? He actually went for 3 again right there in that little rhythm section. But Higgerson playing the cat right now to the mouse. So all he has to do is wait for them to say, look at this.
Oh.
Going outside, carrying a gear high, going to make the move if possible. If not, guess what? We have another turn coming up.
That's most definitely true. And look at, Higgerson, actually a little bit of a stutter there as he hit one of those soft spots on the track, maybe a little off rhythm there, but opens up the gap just a little bit more. And that was such a minimal mistake, and I wouldn't even call it a mistake. He just happened to hit the ground wrong right there, and that's how much more that ground opened up between he and Thomas Brown. These guys are moving at amazing paces right now.
Yeah, that's all it's going to take, Rodney. One little incident like that, believe me, all you got to do is touch, and it can be 6, 8, 10 seconds instantly.
So Thomas Brown continuing to hold down the number 4 spot. We see Hetrick is in, Wienen is in. We're looking for Hagsma, should be checking in about right now. And Brown and Higgerson may be reeling in Hagsma right now. Let's see what the official scores. There went Hagsma. Hagsma is not that far ahead now.
Wow.
He's 12.7 seconds behind Ween, and he's now only 2 seconds ahead of Thomas Brown. So Higgerson and Brown may be catching up to that third-place position. This could become a three-way shootout for the final podium spot.
Well, it's a case right now where Higgerson and Brown are definitely pushing each other. A lot of times, Rodney, the riders will hook up and slow each other down. Higgerson and Brown forming a train right now, and the guy in trouble is Hagsma.
Oh, here we go through the SSI decals whole shot for us. Look at that. You can throw a blanket over the two. Hagsma can feel the pressure coming. You know he hears those 2 4-strokes roaring up behind him.
Yeah, I can tell you, if you're Hagsma, man, the last people you want behind you, maybe Brown or Higgerson, okay? Hetrick or Wienen maybe, but I can tell you, you know Thomas Brown's back there and you know Ronnie Higgerson's back there. You know they're coming.
You most certainly do, but we got to remember, Hagsma is a champion. He is the Quad Cross, the West Coast champion out there, so it's not that he's no stranger to competition by no stretch of the imagination, but what about the hot Tennessee sun? What about this rough, rugged racetrack? What about this national competition that he's facing against? That's what we're about ready to see. Can he hold a candle? Can he rise to the occasion? As of right now, man, he is doing a great job. The gap is closing up, but it's a lot harder to pass somebody than it is to catch them.
You better believe it, man. You know, close that gap's one thing. Make the moves another. Pull away is a totally another.
Brown on the inside.
And look at this.
Brown on the inside, coming around the big Rocky Mountain sweeper turn of the Yamaha. Looks like he may be about to make the pass, and he does. We got a new third-place ride. Thomas Brown shakes not only Dave Hagsma now, but now he's gotten a rider in a bumper zone between himself and Ronnie Higgerson. But for how long can Higgerson make the pass on Hagsma as they make their way into the big Kawasaki sweeper turn now?
Yeah, Higgerson wants to make that move, not able to close that gap up enough, but guess what? We're going to make that left-hander down here before the finish line rhythm section, and 2 totally different lines. Still going to be able to prevail, but right there, Thomas Brown coming through this time around as we look at timing and scoring in the 3rd position. He's only got 1.3 seconds over Hagsma right now. Higgerson less than 1 second behind, so my goodness, the race on the track is for the 3rd place position.
Here comes Ronnie as he has got the hammer laid down on this one all over the rear wheels of Hagsma past the mechanics area now into the SSI decals whole shot for us. We got a battle going on. Can the Flash, can the almost evil Ronnie Higgerson make the, a little bit of a mistake.
Big mistake. One of those soft spots that Ellis was talking about earlier and that we saw Tremelin hit earlier.
Yeah, but look at that. Look how quickly he was able to recover. He's right back on him heading into the 10 Commandments now.
Just held it on a little bit longer. Rodney just refused to hit the brakes in order to close up that gap, and look exactly what he did. Coming through the option line, almost rubbing tires, Rodney, and if that happens, it's a disaster.
There you go. It looks like Higgerson's about ready to give Hagsma a bump there as he finally pulls off to the side, switches up lines there. Hagsma still with the advantage to the outside. Let's see if he can slingshot into position here, coming out of Storyland now.
Able to keep the power on, but not able to slingshot. Making their way through this left-hander, trying to keep him honest, but guess what? Riding a wide bike right in front of him is Hagsma.
Joel Hetrick 7.5 seconds ahead of Chad Wienen, who is second. Another 16 seconds back is the battle we're watching right now for the number 3 spot of Thomas Brown, Dave Hagsma, and Ronnie Higgerson. But keep an eye out. Jeffrey Rastrelli is lurking in the background also, and he could be a factor in this one if he can pick up the pace a little bit. Now, almost 14 minutes into this race, we will be seeing the 2-lap board come out in about 1 minute.
Yeah, very interesting, Rodney, because I want to tell you something. Anybody that has something in the tank right now, anybody that has it on the reserve switch, they're going to use it right now when that 2-lap card comes out.
Lap 7 in the history books now. Hedrick and Wienen through, and here comes the battle now for the number 3 position. And there is Jeffrey Rastrelli. He has got Dave Hagsma in his sights. Look at this. Hedrick, Wienen, Brown, Higgerson did make the pass on Hagsma. He made it stick. Now Rastrelli is only 5 seconds behind Hagsma. Will he run out of time? He's about 2 seconds faster, but he's 5 seconds behind. And I think that we should have at least 3 more laps to go, so he might have enough time to reel him in.
If you do the math, he realistically can, but here's the big thing. Is there going to be a mistake? Is there going to be a blown turn? This late in the race, you start to get a little tired. You start to make a mental mistake or two, and I believe right now Rastrelli's might be the strongest.
No doubt. No doubt Rastrelli is pushing hard. He got off to the lackluster start there, a start that I'm sure he is not very happy with, but he has made the best of a bad situation. There's no doubt about it. Meanwhile, Joel Hedrick, wow, he exploded off the line, grabbed the SSI Decals Hole Shot, got the SSI Decals Hole Shot Award, which kind of like the ATVRiders.com race, it's a championship within a championship. The winner gets $2,000 at the series ending banquet in November. And the hole shot winner already wrapped up, Joel Hedrick, and he just puts an exclamation point on it there with that hole shot.
Hedrick not leaving any question after that one. Obviously had about 4 quad links going into turn number 2. By the time that guy got to the 10 Commandments, he had 6 quads.
So the 2-lap board coming out this time around for Joel Hedrick. 2 to go now for Kent Dynamite, the 88, a 2:03.5 lap time that time around. And back at the number 2 spot, we'll see Chad Wienen checking in now. 7 seconds to the negative, it looks like, and another 20 seconds back is that battle coming now with Thomas Brown. Brown actually by himself in the number 3 position. Ronnie Higgerson has pulled up by himself in the number 4 spot. It is the number 5 ride of Dave Hagsma. What about Jeffrey Rastrelli? We were thinking that he might be able to reel him in, but I got to take another look at this. It looks as though maybe Hagsma picked up enough of the pace there on that last lap around that he was able to keep Rastrelli at bay. A 5-second gap now, 6.2 seconds is actually Rastrelli appears to have slowed down a little bit. Remember what you were talking about? Mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big mistake. And you know what? There's a perfect example of it. And when you take a look at our track, when you take a look at that soft spot that we've seen come into play in the same area twice, that could happen anywhere on the track, and it obviously has. One comment on Joel out front here, though, man. I gotta love that throwback late 80s look, the white gear, dude, and the blood red Honda.
Yeah.
Looking good, easy to identify out there. And then our man Wienen, man, got the flow glow going on. So those guys obviously got some awesome style.
Man, talk about a picture-perfect moto. I mean, the motos that dreams are made of, we've seen it so many times. It's just those 1 or 2 instances here in 2015 that have kept Joel Hedrick from being more of a threat for the national championship title away from Chad Wienen, but he's making his statements. He's not only making his statement today, but he's made his statements all season long, as has Chad Wienen. Chad made his statement that, hey, I'm going to be tough to beat, and Joel Hedrick made his statement is, well, I'm certainly going to try.
Absolutely, no two questions about that. When we saw Hedrick come through, the first sign to me, of course, was at High Point, and I saw a determined pupil. I saw a guy that's been studying. I saw a sponge that's been soaking up information, and what he was able to do was apply that information. So applied information equals a win for him, and right now I'm watching a guy who's focused, who knows that this is a big deal, who wants to end on a high note, and this is a picture perfect. This is a dream moto for this guy right here.
Most definitely, and everything that he wanted to happen for himself has taken place. He's done everything he can to try and win that championship. The only problem is the fact that Chad Wienen is doing everything that he needs to do to win the title.
Absolutely, and that happens, Rodney. You know, it doesn't matter who your favorite rider is in what series. There's going to be a time where a guy makes a charge. There's going to be a time where a guy's been consistent. And, you know, right now you got 2 guys that made very few mistakes. The guy who made the most mistakes and has the most wins is going to win the championship possibly here. And that's deservedly the way it goes.
Yeah, and I can tell you, and Joel pointed him out to me, he said one moto in Itchicani whenever Chad Wienen He basically left the door open, and Chad just kind of moved him right on off the racetrack. That was one moto he finished way back, and then a few races ago at Ironman, well, the last live televised broadcast of Racer TV's ATV motocross racing, we saw him go down there in Moto 2. Just a simple mistake in the mud, and that's what took him out of this championship.
Every rider can tell you where and when, what corner, what time, what lap. They can tell you where it went south, and it didn't necessarily go south in either one of those spots, but a combination of the two, and positive results for winning in those situations result in the situation we have.
Exactly. But you know what? Bragging rights, the explanation point, the smiles, the cheers, and the celebrations are going to go to this rider right here, Joel Hetrick, as he rounds the sweeper turn around the big beach there, heading to the Mountain Dew final turn and the final push there for a Moto 1 win, completely uncontested as he makes that drive. And look at that effortless ride to the checker flag. Joel Hetrick, Moto 1 winner here at Dirt Days.
You know, Joel came across the camelback right there. He came into the sweeper. He took his arm off the bar. He kind of glanced back behind him, and he kind of knew, too. Chad didn't have anything to prove right now. There's no reason to turn that thing up and try to gain 7 seconds, Rodney, in a few laps. And, you know, he understands. He turned around to make sure that's exactly who was back there. And unfortunately for him, that's who was back there. So, man, I tell you, the big winners outside of all this are the spectators and the fans that have come to these races this year, and especially here today. Unbelievable entertainment, unbelievable action on the track. And if you attended any one of these events, Rodney, you got your money's worth for one moto.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
but we
first
got a
moto of the day.
Yeah, and we got a second moto coming up, and that's going to be the tail of the tape right there. Hetrick taking the win. Chad Wienen will finish up second. Thomas Brown will take the third place position in Moto 1, 27, almost 28 seconds back. Hetrick and Wienen certainly riding on a level that is not going to be impossible to match, but it is going to give Thomas Brown, Ronnie Higgerson, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Nick Janusa, Joe Bird, everybody out there a point to shoot for.
I tell you, I'm almost exhausted watching that race. I'm tired from just calling it, Rodney. Those guys wore me out. I could only imagine the intensity underneath of that helmet. I can only imagine the focus, the concentration, the heat, everything going through their mind, coming out from underneath of that helmet, swapping positions from anywhere 6th to 3rd position over a course of 3 laps.
Hetrick, Wienen, Brown, Higgerson, Hagsma, your top 5. Jeffrey Rastrelli in 6th, Nick Janusa in 7th, and Joe Bird,
the
baby!
Man. Woo! Yeah!
Bird gets a 8th place position finish here in Moto 1. 42 years old, celebrating his 30th season here at the Dude Ranch. And, man, that's an amazing achievement. As Casey Greek was saying, I was born in 1983.
Right.
He was only like a year or two old whenever Joe Bird started coming here.
I was just getting ready to make the comment, I don't know that Hetrick was born, you know,
no,
by no
absolutely
means.
not.
He wasn't even close to born. So, you know,
I think his dad was still in high school.
Exactly, man. So all these guys, you know, not even close to being around as long as that guy been racing.
No doubt. Cody Jansen, last year's AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year, is 9th place. Casey Martin, no wonder Brad himself, there in the 10th place position. Then we'll see Sean Taylor, Nico Covey, Silas Lamans. Josh Upperman actually gets up to 14th place after that first lap tumble. Jesse Barnes will finish in 15th. Vital Kazanabe, only 7 laps in that one. He had such a strong performance all season long, and an opening performance here just a year ago in his AMA Pro Racing debut. Here we are a year later. He's got some work cut out for him, as looks like maybe Moto 1 might have been a little rough on him. And we see these guys down in the cool-down zone down there right now. We're getting ready to go to the finish line podium to talk with our top 3 as Harv Whipple brings Thomas and Chad and the folks up right now. There is Joel Hetrick's papa there. Ready to roll that machine back. These guys got their work cut out for them. That's one thing, you know, we see this going on right here. These hot machines get the tar beat out of them basically throughout these motos. And then here we go into the pits in between Moto 1 and Moto 2. And they got to do a lot of things to get those machines ready.
Let me tell you something. That chain got stretched out like the national budget. Okay, those tires got worn off. The grips even are worn down right now after that. Every aspect of that bike has to be checked. coolant levels have to be checked. Oil's going to be changed out on that motor before the next race. You know, all kinds of stuff going on. And I can tell you, not a lot of time to get it done, Rodney.
Paul Turner down there banging on.
Have a little fun.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
mechanics down there having some fun with each other. As we're going to head down to the podium. Casey Greek is standing down there, and we're going to get a chance to talk to our Whole Shot Award winner, our Moto winner, as well as second and third place. Casey, I tell you, quite an eventful Moto 1, especially for that battle back in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, Thomas Brown had a hard-fought battle there. He got pinched a little on the start and come out a little further back than you wanted to and worked your way up. Tell us about it.
Oh, you know, yeah, we definitely got pinched hard at the start. We got a okay jump, and then when we came across, it wasn't what we needed to be. And we pushed hard and got to third, and so I got to third. Chad and Joel were gone. And man, it seems to be the story of the year. But, you know, I'm happy to be up here. I'm going to go back, cool off, and push hard for that second moto, see if I can get the Maxxis Yamaha up front.
Awesome. Definitely gangs every weekend, Thomas. Who do you want to thank for getting you up here this first moto?
Obviously, Yamaha for staying behind me all these years, and Maxxis Tires. Both stepped up for my program this year, and I'm super happy about it. Moto Experts, Root River Racing, Hyper Wheels, Fox, Walsh. Can't thank everybody enough. Looking forward to the second moto.
All right, Thomas. Good job. We'll see you second moto.
Well, that was a great first moto, and what a battle there, Megawatt. I tell you, really a lot of intensity, no doubt about it. But the second place position, you know, we talked about it the whole time. He did everything that he needed to do. He did everything he wanted to do. He's still in command and control. Chad Wienen getting second place.
Yeah, great job by Chad.
All right, Rodney, I'm down here with big Chad Wienen. Chad, kind of a mellow moto, come out kind of where you wanted. Tell us, was it just the plan, or was it just not worth it that time to pull the trigger and go forward, or where were we?
Yeah, I mean, we came out with a good start. Those Maxxis tires hooked up, that Alaska motor and that Yamaha, man, put us right where we needed to be. And, man, Joel set a couple of heaters, and I just kind of knew that today is one of those days that you just got to play it smart and keep it real and collected. And maybe the second moto, you know, if we get a whole shot in front of them, we'll probably turn it up. So safest place to be is out front.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Joel come out strong, and you rode a smart race. And in the end of the spectrum here, the big picture is obviously after the second moto goes off. So definitely want to thank everyone that gets you up here and go ahead and do that.
Oh, absolutely. Big hats off to my crew. PT on the wrench, Mikey Walsh from Walsh Racecraft, Ian from SSI Decals, man, my wife, parents, and grandparents. You know, everybody really pushes so hard to keep my schedule together and just putting up my stress. And man, it's been a great year, and we're just looking to cap it off. And huge hats off to everybody, the fly racing gear coming out, the 16 stuff's so fresh and feels great out here in the heat. And man, the Scott goggles, Shoei helmets, EVS. Let's see, Mama Dina. There's so many more that made the trek down here to really support me, and the fans, man. Even though I'm riding in second, I'm still a racer. I want to get the win. So, well, if it's there, we're gonna go for it, and if not, we're gonna play it cool and just keep it on the right track, and hopefully take home the fourth.
Awesome, good job, Chad. We'll see you the next moto, hopefully.
Well, there you go, Chad Wienen, pretty happy with his results, and I'll tell you, somebody else is pretty happy with the way he's riding. Mr. Joel Hetrick taking the Moto 1 win.
All right, we're down here with Joel Hetrick, and it's pretty explanatory what you have to do this weekend. You kind of been through all your motions and everything. What happened that moto? Tell us how everything went there. What's your plan?
Well, the first moto, Das motor pulled me out of that start with the Maxxis tires gripping. Just put some fast laps down at the beginning and pulled a little gap on Chad. And I knew he was laying back. He has a championship on the line. You don't want to do anything stupid. But I just ran my race, and I knew what I had to do today. And it would be hard for me to get the championship. So I just wanted to go out there and put hard laps down and win these two motos and finish the season off strong, really.
Awesome. So you did your homework there. You got the second moto coming up. What's the plan for second moto? Same thing?
Oh yeah, same thing. Hopefully we can get another hole shot. And I mean, it's just that hole shot was key that moto, and if I can get it again, I think we can pull another win. But if not, I want to be on the podium for the last race. Loretta's is definitely monumental to me, and to be on the podium is great. But I'd like to pull off this win and come off strong and head to the Soaring Eagle Supercross race and try to wrap it up too.
So tell us one last thing. What's it like racing with Joe Bird? He was racing here before you were alive.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Joe and me have been, actually I went to Joe Bird's riding school when I was like 13 or something like that, so it's just crazy to be racing against him, and he's been here so many years, and he's still teaching me stuff on and off the track, so it's pretty cool to have Joe racing here.
Joe must have did a good job, because you're winner of the first moto, Joel Hetrick. Joel, who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank my mom and dad, Hetrick Racing, Corrosion Specialties, Fly Gear for this new fresh stuff, SSI decals, DASA Motor, A&M Satellite, FSI, HPC, Spartan Fabrications, Bard Welding. Oh man, my mechanic Brandon for wrenching on the bike all season and just getting it 100% every round. My fiance Carly, all the fans here, and everyone watching at home, thank you.
Awesome job, Joel. Back to you, Rodney.
All right, thanks a lot, Casey. Great congratulations, Joel Hetrick, and all of our AMA Pro ATV riders there as we had a great and spectacular moto. Definitely want to say thanks to Dave Hagsman, Ronnie Higgerson for making things so very interesting there for that battle for the number 3 position. As we take a look at the point standings now, heading into this final moto, the point standings now, 12 points separate the two. It was 15 coming in. Now it's -12 for Joel Hetrick. He gained 3 there, but again, all Chad's got to do is go out there and ride a good race.
Yeah, he gained 3 on a great, honest win right there. Chad came out, and we know he put it on cruise control for the last 2 laps, probably when the 2-lap card came out. But I can tell you right now, anybody gets collected in the first or second turn, anybody gets shoved off the track, and let me tell you something, I don't care if it's Chad, I don't care if it's Joel, they have their work cut out for them to get back to the front. And if it happens to either one of those guys, hey, man, that's all I can say.
That is for sure. That is for sure, no doubt. And with that, I tell you, we really have the stage set for a great moto. And like you said, first turn, hey, we got to remember, once again, this is Loretta Lynn's. This is Dirt Days. And we will continue with our live coverage on RacerTV.com right after this.
There's one. What is that?
It's my Dale call.
That's way better than my duck call.
If you're on a diet of taking it up a notch,
It's just different.
drink Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL for any engine.
Lucas Oil Pro Motocross returns to the legendary Ironman Raceway in Crawfordsville, Indiana. The second annual Bud Light Ironman National, Saturday, August 22nd. Located just 6 miles off I-74, exit 39. Be trackside with Nerd Flies as the world's fastest motocross riders battle in more-to-bar action that will get your fist pumping. Buy your tickets at the gate or in advance at IronmanProMX.com. Feel the roar of the speed-only motocross springs. The races start at 1 p.m. Saturday, August 22nd at Ironman Raceway. That's Saturday, August 22nd at 1 p.m.
And welcome back to Dirt Caves here at Loretta Lynn's as we are live here watching more racing action. We just finished up with our AMA Pro ATV Moto number 1 on the racetrack just a moment ago was the schoolgirl 13 to 17. So we're down to race number 23 now, the Super Mini 12 to 15-year-old class. And I'll tell you what, Super Mini class racing, for some reason, there's something about kids 12 to 15 years old, whenever they go out on the racetrack and start laying it all out there like that, they really put forth a great race.
Rodney, every kid finds speed at a different age, but what I can tell you, there are very few of the 7 and 8, 9 and 10-year-olds that really find that next level of speed. Normally that happens somewhere in that 13 to 17 range, and when you get to that age, you're going to find more kids producing more speed than in the younger classes, and that's why I find it so exciting when you get to these age groups.
Well, I want you to take note of the rider out front here in this class, if I'm not mistaken. I think we saw the number 44, Bryce Ford, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that guy, he's amazing.
Amazing kid, there's no doubt about it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that he has actually captured and secured 3 titles already in the youth division. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's working on title number 4, which is relatively an unheard of feat, it seems like, for nearly anybody. But this kid is phenomenal, and I'm looking right now. Give me
that race I just watched a few minutes ago. Bryce Ford and Peyton Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, those guys, unbelievable, tire to tire for the entire race.
Well, Bryce Ford currently leads this class, the Super Mini 12 to 15, and the name you mentioned, Peyton Zimmerman, who runs in the number 2 spot right now, less than a second behind Lance Walker, another 6/10 back in the number 3 spot. But Peyton Zimmerman and Bryce Ford are literally 9 points apart in this championship. If it finishes like this, obviously Ford is going to take the title, and I think even if Zimmerman takes the win, he'll take the title. Oh, wait a minute. Where is Ford? Ford's all the way back in 5th. So
wow,
I guess
what happened there?
I don't know, but we got Trevor Thatcher now up front, the 404 machine. Thatcher is actually your 3rd place position holder in points. And I don't know if I mentioned it since we started the broadcast, but Trevor Thatcher is one of the younger kids in this class as he made the graduation from that 9 to 11 or 8 to 11-year-old group there from last year into this 12 to 15-year-old class. And he and both Lance Walker were battling it out in those classes last year. This year, they're battling it out in the Super Mini 12 to 15 against kids 15 and almost 16 years old.
Yeah, they're already up front. They've got about a half a year's experience, but guess what? When you get to the upper level where they were and you make that class jump, very seldom are you going to ride in the rear of the pack. But you know what? These guys didn't fool with mid-pack. These guys went straight to the front.
Well, here's the way things are looking in our Super Mini class, and I'm not going to lie, this could change quite a bit before the checkers fly. Trevor Thatcher, Peyton Zimmerman, Lance Walker, Logan Stanfield, the number 55, only 1.5 seconds back in 4th. Bryce Ford was half a second back in 5th. Brandon O'Neill, another fast one, 5:04 and 6. Max Lindquist making the graduation from the younger class. This is his first big class race. Lindquist running in 7th. Jake Bisnick, the 55 slash, is 8th. Cameron Trimble is 9th. Drew Shearer out of Pedro, Ohio, rounds out your top 10 as we check back in with our front runners, and I believe that is going to be the 404 of Trevor Thatcher. Let's double check that as makes that final turn, and I'm pretty sure, look at that mud. You can see that they freshly watered that racetrack before they went out there. He took a face full, but was able to get out of that roost, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely added some moisture back there.
Actually, that was Zimmerman out front.
See, I thought by his gear, I watched him earlier, that 721 machine, very hard to read the digits on his plate, but I thought that was his machine and his gear. So Peyton Zimmerman making a move to the front.
Peyton Zimmerman, that's what we like to call him here, and I tell you what, he has earned any type of nickname you want to give him because that kid is like lightning out there in that Super Mini class.
Well, I can tell you what he was. He was 3.5 seconds a lap faster than Thatcher and everybody else on that lap. So Thatcher a 210.7, Lance Walker a 210.3, Peyton Zimmerman 207.1. So basically 3.5 seconds faster than Thatcher.
Wow, that is impressive, no doubt. I'm just kind of taken back by that, man. I mean, how fast these 3 kids are And right now, how fast Peyton Zimmerman happens to be laying it down. I mean, this kid's on rails right now.
Yeah, by taking the lead, he was obviously more than 3.5 seconds down, so he took a 3.5 second deficit and turned it into 2 3/4 second lead.
Wow. Zimmerman Racing, Maxon Incorporated, FTR Power Sports, Landis Motorsports, Elka, Amped Apparel, JB Racing, Fly Racing, Ems Oil, the first in synthetics, all proud to sponsor Peyton Zimmerman out of Lititz, Pennsylvania. On board a Suzuki. Yeah, you heard me. One of the older kids in the class at 15 years old, Peyton Zimmerman, is looking to try to upset the apple cart here and take that championship away from little Bryce Ford, who's back there in the number 5 spot. I'm not sure how this is all going to pan out, but I think if they are, if I'm looking at the correct points, we've got about 9 points that separate them, so it's going to take several positions in order for, in the overall, in order for Zimmerman to tighten things up and maybe take that win away from him.
Yeah, Bryce riding around in 5th place right now with a 2:10.9. Man, oh man, he's got his homework cut out for him. I got a 2:10.2 ahead of him, a 2:10.3, a 2:10.7. So a lot of guys riding a very similar speed that he's going to have to work his way through, and time's running out, Rodney.
Peyton Zimmerman taking that Suzuki around the SSI decals, hold shot forest out the Thor back door now as we head into the Maxxis short shoots and toward the 10 Commandments there. Now, as we make this happen, and watch this happen, I want you to take a look at that racetrack. Remember I said I got excited during the pro race. Did you see that short shoot section of the racetrack, those little short straights there? What kind of intense bumps they had. And speaking of intense, Lance Walker now finding trouble back there as he's got Logan Stanfield and now Bryce Ford knocking all over the door. Look at this coming out of the 10 Commandments section. This race has heated up, friends.
Yeah, you know, we wondered if there was something going on back there. Those guys were kind of stagnant for a minute, but not anymore, man. Somebody has given the signal. Somebody has lit the fire. So we'll have to see what plays out here. But Bryce Ford on the move, Stanfield on the move, and Walker under attack.
Lance Walker, a kid that's quiet off the racetrack, makes all the noise out there on his JB number 133, and he is making plenty of noise right now here through the final lap of racing. It is Peyton Zimmerman out front of Trevor Thatcher, about 6.2 seconds now. Lance Walker 1.5 seconds behind him. Stanfield less than a second back in the number 4 spot. In reality, has Walker got around Trevor Thatcher? Look at that, man. That
Holy
kid's
cow.
styling and profiling.
Man.
As he makes his way around the sweep return for the final time, Peyton Zimmerman.
And just so you know, that 2:07.1 wasn't good enough. He had to go out and turn a 2:06.9.
Oh, yeah.
On lap 3.
Yeah.
So why not?
Got to make a statement if you're going to win.
And he certainly did.
Yeah, he did. And there's 8 minutes of racing action, a little over 8 minutes of racing action, actually, as we watch the Super Mini 12-15 wrap up. We'll see some 70 automatic 6-11 action here in just a few moments. Lance Walker did move into the number 2 spot. What happened to Thatcher? Stanfield moves up to 3rd. Trevor Thatcher is 4th, and Bryce Ford never did move up past 5th place. But you know what? I gotta wonder right now, is he playing the safe game right now?
Boy, I find that hard to believe. Maybe in 2nd, 3rd place, possibly. I just don't know. Maybe they've done the math. Maybe they know exactly where it's at. But I find it hard for Bryce Ford to throttle back in 5th place.
I do too, I find it hard for him to hang out in 5th place for very long.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you just throttle back and was riding around in 5th place. I believe that for whatever reason he was back there. Maybe picked a bad line, maybe got held up. Could be a number of things wrong, but the bottom line was I don't think Bryce Ford was out there just collecting points.
No, I don't think that was the case either, as I'm looking back here trying to look at some of the championship points to see which classes that Bryce Ford is actually eligible to win in. I see right now he is looking at, he's got the 90 Open Senior 12 to 15-year-old class wrapped up, it looks like, over Lance Walker. That's one class. Another class would be the Super Mini 12 to 15. He's got this one. It's not completely wrapped up, but it's all but wrapped up. That's 2 classes. Bryce Ford, the 90 shifter, 12 to 15. He is your champion in that class. And let's see if we can find one more class, because they tell me he's got 4 classes that he's running. Well, we found at least 3 so far. And even 3 or 4, whatever the case may be, however many it is, it's impressive to see what this kid has been able to achieve here in 2015. So amazing little rider, as this is only his sophomore year in the older age group classes of these youth divisions. Well, we got those 3. I'll try to find and see if there is a 4th one. If not, regardless, 3 championships, that's still a lot to be proud of, no doubt about it. Or even 2 and almost a 3rd championship, whatever the case may be. But it's Zimmerman, Walker, Stanfield, Thatcher, Ford, Brandon O'Neill, and 6, Max Lindquist. Welcome to the big bikes, the big upper level.
The big leagues.
There you go, the big leagues.
No
Cameron
question.
Trimble in 8th, Drew Shearer in 9th, and Jake Visnick rounding out your top 10. That brings us next to race number 24, the 70 automatic 6 to 11-year-old class, as we check the roster of riders right there. And these guys are nearing the completion of that first lap of racing. It is Brock Van Ice Winkle Baby out front. A 1-second lead over Tristan Evans. Tristan Evans has got the number 16 machine. He's also a part of the he's part of the Virus Racing team. Grant Landis, number 14, is 3rd. Bryson Slagle in 4th. Kellen Williams in 5th. Aiden Goodwin is 6th. Maximus Rumsey is 7th. Adam Ulrich is 8th. Brady Bogus is 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Raymond Smikowski, also out there with us in this class. We've got the 11th place position of Kyle Downs. A total of 19 riders, if I'm not mistaken, but we've only seen, like we said, 11 of them checking in. So we'll run down our roster here on our paper. We got Mason Whaley aboard the number 7 in Knoxville, Tennessee. Adam Ulrich, who we mentioned, the number 8 out of Pennsylvania. The number 10, Braden Strauss out of Stounsville, Ohio. Maximus Rumsey's out of Benton, Illinois on the 12. Grant Landis, the 14, Manheim, PA. 15, Joey Barnes out of Kirtland, Ohio. 16, Leesville, Louisiana's Tristan Evans. Brock Van Winkle, Summerduck, Virginia. Number 18 again, 21's Austin Andrew out of Deltona, Florida. 29, Tanner Wilson from Blaine, Tennessee. 29, William Moore Jr. out of Rosenhaun, New Jersey. The 33, Brady Bogus out of Murray, Kentucky. 42, Kellen Williams out of Escadada, Oregon. 55, Kyle Downs from Buckeye, Arizona. Bellevue, Ohio, home to the 100 of Aiden Goodwin. The 100/ Bryson Juice out of Zirconia, North Carolina. 113, Alyssa Raines from hometown, West Virginia. 181, Bryson Slagle out of Gordonsville, Tennessee. And 415, Raymond Smikowski from Waterford, Wisconsin. Again, it's Van Winkle, Evans, Landis, Slagle, and Williams, your top 5. Aiden Goodwin is in 6th. Max Rumsey in 7th. Adam Ulrich is 8th. 9th, Brandy Bogus. Raymond Smikowski is 10th. Then we got Downs in 11th. Austin Andrew is 12th. No, Joey Barnes is 12th. Austin Andrew is 13th. Bryson Juice is running 14th. Braden Strauss, the number 10, is 15th. Mason Whaley, the number 7, now checks in 16th place. The 70 automatic 6 to 11. Over 700 entries with our amateur riders here this weekend, Megawatt. I tell you, another big race, and again, the biggest race of 2015, coming to you right here live from Loretta Lynn's Ranch for this Dirt Days.
You know, that just tells us about the popularity. That tells us about the interest. That tells you about the industry itself. So a lot to be said about 700+ entries down here this weekend. Just an absolutely amazing number, and shows that we still have good support, good following to grow new riders and grow the whole series.
Yep, and we are here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. The property is owned by the world-famous coal miner's daughter, Miss Loretta Lynn herself. And again, sandy soil with extra sand hauled in, over 50 dump truck loads. I think Jeff Russell said might have been more than 55, but we did the numbers on 55. 55 dump truck loads of sand were hauled in and placed in the track service, totaling nearly 1,100 tons of sand that was dumped on this racetrack. So, wow, you got to be shaped for this one. The heat and humidity is one thing, but the racetrack, it's also another thing. So it's all going to sap your strength, man. I mean, this this is a true championship caliber racetrack. There's no doubt.
Yeah, this matches any course you're going to see in any national motocross track on the circuit. Doesn't matter where you go, you're not going to find basically a better circuit. You're not going to find a different type of surface. You're going to find the same kind of ruts, the same kind of holes, braking bumps, and that kind of stuff. And it's one of the greatest racetracks in the country.
Most certainly. 2 laps down, Tristan Evans, Grant Landis, Kellen Williams, Bryson Slagle, and Brock Van Winkle, who was leading, drops off to the number 5 spot. He is some 2 seconds back behind 4th, but if you do the math, 3, 6, 9, call it 15 seconds, or no, make that 13 seconds behind your leader now, Tristan Evans. I don't know what happened to Van Winkle, but I think it goes back to what we were talking about and have mentioned so many times, this racetrack itself.
Yeah, this racetrack will bite you at the drop of a hat. And it could be any one of a number of things. It could be one of the obstacles. It could be one of the corners. It could be a soft spot. It could be a rut. It could be a lot of different things. But this track does have the ability to jump up and bite you. The more you get tired, the more that opportunity arises for something like the Commandments or one of the Camelbacks or something to really jump up and bite you as you become fatigued and tired.
Yes, and that is very, very true. And fatigue is one thing, and it's just, it zaps you in a lot of different ways. Mentally, physically, it's, machines got to be set up close to right, and you got to be able to ride in these conditions. And, you know, amazingly, I think Mom and Dad, the mechanics out there, pat yourselves on the back. You've done a good job. We've seen some good racing out there. But, again, this racetrack just really separating these guys. That's one of the more challenging ones I've seen in any ATV race we've ever had. Now, I will say, yeah, we've seen Illinois get rough. We've seen Redbud get rough, but has it really been this rough? I don't know.
I really don't believe it has, Rodney, to be quite honest with you. And you talk about the parents a second ago. Friends, family, relatives, this and that probably really don't truly understand what it takes to get down here and contest one class, let alone multiple classes, which most of these kids do. The preparation, the dedication, what it takes from the employers and that type of thing. You know, you have to plan the vacations, the days off, that type of thing to make all the rounds. And I really just don't think those who haven't done it really understand everything that's involved to be committed and make a top run at it.
Unless you live it, you don't understand it. There's no doubt about that. And you can't explain it to these folks in no way, shape, or form. And it is a great investment in your family. It is a great investment in your children. That is no doubt. So live on RacerTV.com, all racing all the time as we are wrapping up the 70 automatic 6 to 11-year-old class. Tristan Evans, Grant Landis, Kellen Williams, 1, 2, and 3 at the last check. If you look at the deficits, looks like unless a mistake be made, we should see that finish up that way as Evans makes his way around. Little Virus Racing kid. I was going to mention something about Peyton Zimmerman there a moment ago. If you get online and go into YouTube, there's some videos of Peyton doing the uphill triple on a 250 ATV. Comes up just a hair short, kind of cases it, but at the same time, you could technically say he made it, but it wasn't the prettiest way to make it. You had to check that out. Also, some pretty good.
What track was that at?
That was at Muddy Creek, round.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then we got Tristan Evans out here, another young man. Look him up on internet, Virus Racing, Tristan Evans. He's got some videos out there, and you'll get to know this young man also. These kids, true characters, they are true personalities.
No question. Seen Tristan Evans several times before, some of the qualifiers and that kind of thing, and my comment was Virus Racing was about to become an epidemic.
It is, exactly. The virus is spreading to epidemic proportions, I guess we could say. So it's Tristan Evans taking the win, Grant Landis taking the number 2 spot. Then Bryson Slagle rounds out your top 3. As the checkers continue to wave, it's going to be Kellen Williams. No, Maximus Rumsey gets around him, so the number 12 of Rumsey will take the 4th place position, and rounding out the top 5. Looks like we may have a bit of a change there as Kellen Williams running into some problems, it appears. Was it enough to let Aiden Goodwin by? And it does, and Goodwin rounds out your top 5 of our 70 automatic 6 to 11. And RacerTV.com's live coverage of Dirt Days will continue right after this.
They're the best off-road riders in the world, and they're coming your way every day on RacerTV.com. Check out all the action from the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship, with live race coverage every week and weekend wrap-up shows. Racer TV has everything you need to know about the fastest riders in the woods. It's all on Racer TV. All racing, all the time.
Look, we know you're busy, and we know you love racing. So each week, make sure you watch the Race Direct show with race highlights from our Cherokee Pro Motocross and Yoshimura Road Race segments. We keep you current. Plus, flat track, hill climb, GNCC, ATVMX, National Enduro, and more. We have interviews with the world's best and keep you up on the latest racing news. Watch the Racer X Show, new on Tuesdays, and available 24/7 right here on RacerTV.com.
And welcome back to Loretta Lynn's Dirt Days 2015, the 33rd year in the celebration of Dirt Days here at the Dude Ranch. Rodney Tomlin along with Megawatt Matt Watson, and 450A racing action on the racetrack right now. One of the most tightly contested championships so far here in 2015, as we have a deadlock tie between Hayden Mickelson, the 135, and Wesley Wolf, the number 741. And Wolf moves to the front of the pack there, as he is your early leader, about 3 seconds over Ryan Carodi. Parker Weworka, the number 40, running in the number 3 spot. Dalton Hicks in that number 4 position, as we have Keenan Game in 5th. Hayden Mickelson, who is the championship contender, is back in the number 6 position right now. That's not a good place for a championship contender to be. It's going to be hard to win a title from back there, Matt Watson.
You better believe that, Rodney. And the bad news for everybody, Wesley Wolf out front with 3 seconds lead in the first lap. Now, we've seen that guy go down to Daytona and win. We've seen him win GNCCs. We've seen him win from Texas to California on all kinds of ATV races. And Wesley Wolf out there with a 3-second plus lead right now. So bad news for everybody.
It is, and one thing to point out about Wesley Wolf, not only is he a top 450A class rider, he's a top college rider in the GNCC College A. He is currently ranked 18th overall in GNCC racing amongst AMA, or the AMA Pro GNCC, the XC1 guys, and the XC2 guys. That is amazing stuff. Yes. That Wesley Wolf is able to achieve. There's no doubt about it. But on the track, Wolf being followed by Carodi, the 925. We work it back in the number 3 spot. Dalton Hicks is 4th. Keenan Game in 5th. Hayden Mickelson is 6th, as we told you. Chris Nixon in 7th. McCain Richards is 8th. 9th is Jared Korn, and rounding out the top 10, Corey Powers riding on board the 01. And normally Corey rides the number 15. He's riding the 01 on behalf of his good buddy who's in the hospital after an incident out in Minnesota a few weeks ago. And Matthew Kesey is out there, and hopefully he's watching us on RacerTV.com, and he sees Corey wearing his number, and that is something to be proud of, because they are good buddies and they are good friends, and that's a great way to pay homage to someone, I think.
Sure, you better believe it. You know that's pumping him up, and I'm with you. I'm hoping he's back home watching it live right now and feeling the love he's getting tossed to him.
For sure, as we got some guests coming into the studio here. A couple of brothers that we're going to be talking to here in just a moment. And we're watching right now. I don't know. We're looking at the starting line, so I don't know what's going on right there.
I can tell you what's going on. Wesley Wolf set a 157.6, okay? One of the fastest laps we've seen all day, okay? One of the fastest laps all day, a 157.6, got a 6.7 second lead on lap number 2. So you said we're not sure what's going on. I can tell you what's going on, the Wesley Wolf Clinic right now.
Yes, he is putting on a clinic right now. 6.7 second lead over Karodi, who has another 1.3 in front of Parker Weworka. We also have Keenan Gam in 4th place. Hayden Mickelson still rounding out the top 5. Old Bubba himself, Dalton Hicks, the number 33, back in 6th place. McCain Richards running 7th. Corey Powers is up to 8th from 10th now. Chris Nixon is 9th. And Jacob Howland rounds out the top 10 as we welcome in studio this young man right here, Cody Ford, who has made his way in. And Cody rides the number 52 in, I'm going to say, the Youth All-Star, the Mini All-Stars, and the Super Mini, and Schoolboy Senior. Okay, well, we'll turn your mic on so people can hear you there just a little bit. But Cody, actually, not only is he here on his merits of being a great racer, but these guys won a drawing a little bit ago to be a part of the action at the racetrack. And I said, you know what? These kids, these two brothers are such wonderful racers that I want to bring them both in and talk to them both. And it's amazing to me the camaraderie that these kids have, and at the same time, they still act like brothers. Well, Cody, you're the oldest rider there. Tell everybody about yourself, where you're from, and what you guys like to do and stuff.
Put it on my...
You going to talk?
Yeah, I'm from Springtown, Texas, and we just race all year.
You just race all year. The delay's getting to you. He normally talks a little faster. Bryce Ford here joining us as well. Bryce, congratulations to you. I know you got a couple of titles wrapped up. It looks like maybe 3 of them. Is that what you're working on right now?
Well, I have 2 right now, and I'm working on Super Mini, and I just got 5th today in it, so that's all I need, and tomorrow I need to get 5th, and that's it.
All right, for some reason I was thinking you was working on 4 titles, but 3 titles, that's pretty impressive stuff to be undertaking there, especially whenever you think about this is only your 2nd year in this big class, man. How did you achieve such greatness so quick?
Well, I just been riding with my brother, and that's it.
That's what I was going to say. Brother, I know that you got a little brother that's got a lot of success, and sometimes you end up in the shadows of the limelight and the spotlight that is cast on him, at least here in the last year or so. But do you feel at all responsible for what your little brother Bryce has been able to achieve by any chance?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who has to get him out of bed and make him go ride when we're at home. He doesn't like to do it, but it all pushes him to be the best that he can be and win these 3 championships. So
yeah, you guys are pretty into this, man. I mean, this has become a lifestyle for you. You guys eat, breathe, live. I mean, when you wake up, it's all about ATVs. Tell me a little bit about your life. I mean, you hang out with John the Tally. You got to have some cool stories to tell, man.
John just comes down during the winter, and we all train with them. And it's fun because it gives us a gauge of how fast we are compared to him. And then we know where we should be on his times and when we come into the season. And we always have someone to chase, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
So we're not just out there riding and cruising. So we
and he gives you some pointers. Now, let me ask you something, Bryce. Do you say that your big brother, you really think your big brother's made you that fast? I mean, chasing him, you've been chasing him for how long now?
I've been chasing him for about 7 years.
Now I got to ask you the question. Are you faster than him now?
I don't know. Now he's turned it up, and he's gotten a lot faster.
Is that right? So you guys do a lot of motos against each other at home? You guys don't ever square off?
No, we just try to stay out of each other's way so that one can go push a lap time, and then we just compare.
Oh, okay. So you don't like race each other. You race the clock against each other. That makes a lot of sense. So you're still turning the faster laps on him, then it sounds like.
Well, sometimes, because I'm on the bigger bike, but, I mean, even when we get on the same track, there's tracks he can go fast and tracks I can go fast.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And you guys are a part of a great organization down there, the TQRA. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great conditioning because it's 105 when we go race. So
TQRA is Texas Quad Racing Association. Bryce and Cody, you just want to say thanks to you guys for stepping up and say congratulations to you. I know you haven't won a championship in a couple of years, Cody, but I know you're going to be gunning for one next year. And Bryce, congratulations to you on your almost 3 championships. You're doing what you need to do, man.
Yeah, and Cody is going to be coming next year.
There you go. See, I like, now he's going to push you. He's going to start pushing you now. He's not going to let you get down on yourself. That's Bryce Ford. That's Cody Ford. And we welcome them here to the tower. And it's actually two great brothers that really push each other to new limits. And both of these guys are very successful. But we had a contest here recently for the Youth Contingency Program. They got their name drawn out, and that was to be a part of the announcing here at Loretta Lynn. So what we're going to do is the 450A wraps up. Wesley Wolf taking the win. Parker Reworka in second. We have Ryan Carodi in third. McCain Richards, I believe, is going to finish up in the number 4 spot. As we look at this, I think Wesley Wolf made quite a bit of a statement here. You guys want to stick around and help announce a race, or you want to? No, you got more racing to get to. He's got more racing to do. So we'll see you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Congratulations to you, and thanks for stopping up. Yeah, you can hang out while your little brother goes and races. Yeah, so come on over. Come on back. Join us, Megawatt. And we're going to set the stage for our next class coming up. We got Hicks checking in the number 5 spot behind McCain Richards. We got Corey Powers. Wow, Powers on that Kesey number 01 moves up to 6th place. Jacob Howland in 7th. Jeremy Ropp in 8th, 9th, Zach Gill, and 10th, Ryan Bevan. I got to say, man, I am really impressed by a couple different riders here in 2015. One in particular right now that I can say is Corey Powers. I can remember watching him as a youth rider. His feet were so big they would barely fit in between the front and rear bumper. He'd have to ride with his feet outside on the Nerf bars. He was such a big kid. Moved up. Did fairly well in the C class and has been continually doing better. You know, what the funny thing is, I've seen him advance quicker in the 450A class than I saw him advance in the 450C class. So he's finally starting to get things, I think, together there for himself.
You know, Rodney, I've seen it many times over the years when a guy really excels by getting on a bigger machine. You know, ride a standard machine, ride a super mini machine, a youth machine, a 250, that type of thing, but really come into their own when they get on the full-size or premier-size machine, such as a 450.
Well, Production C getting ready to roll next. Division 1, we've got at least 2 divisions out of this. Yes, 2 divisions. We got Frankie Witt on the number 6 out of Columbia, Tennessee. The 08 Mason Hunt out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Number 12, Tyler Trent from Hunterburg, Indiana. Number 18, Jordan Trimble from Falmouth, Kentucky. Number 22, Ethan Putman from Lexington, Alabama. 23, Matt Lawrence out of Hartselle, Alabama. 44, Thomas Francis out of Scottsville, Kentucky. 89, Jesse Boyles from Jamestown, Tennessee. 99, Hunter Newell from Ashland, Virginia. 117, Tommy Rodriguez from Yeshua. I'm not real sure where that's from, but some other country. 403 is Brian Tapp out of Belt Buckle, Tennessee. 802, Jacob Stevens out of Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. And 810, Colin Kearns from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Then the Production C Division 2, Justin Condre, the number 2 out of Paragould, Arkansas. The number 9 is Tyler Roberts out of Orange, Texas. The 16, Nick Weber from Wilmington, Delaware. 21, Chad Myers from Mechanicsville, Virginia. 48, Devin Dehart from Ridgeway, Virginia. Santiago Ortez out of Argentina, the number 77. DJ Simonovich is out of Elyria, Ohio. The number 90, Donald Hewlett out of Wentzville, Missouri. 237, Shane Stoddard's out of Edwards, Illinois. 316, Patrick Lucan out of Nashville, Tennessee. 423, Brandon Schmidtley out of Fairchance, Pennsylvania. 496 is Kenneth Payne out of Butler, Tennessee. And 798, Austin Evie from Staunton, Virginia. Production C is off and rolling right now, guys, and they're jockeying for position as we watch. And Cody, you've been on the racetrack a couple different times, man, and we've been talking about the conditions of the racetrack, and they seem to be pretty gnarly as compared to what we've seen in the past. What about you, man? What are you seeing out of this racetrack? You've been on it.
Yeah, this racetrack's definitely a lot rougher this year. It's totally different bike setup. You're not setting for fast and smooth. You're setting for rough and deep ruts.
Is that different than what you guys have done in the past?
Well, the past years we haven't had the roughness. It's usually stayed pretty flat here.
So that's an interesting point to ponder there, and it's changing up a lot of things. You say setup. Is that something that you guys have been working on?
Yeah, we had problems with it in our first moto, and we fixed it for the Youth All-Star.
Well, that's great. So you got getting things dialed in. I guess everybody's in the same boat you are out there, huh?
Yeah, Friday it didn't even get this rough. It was showing its head, but it didn't ever finish getting all the way there. And after morning practice, it was just rough.
Wow, that's crazy. You know, normally you would think that it would have taken that race pace on Friday, but here we go, 450C. No, I'm sorry, that is Production C, Division 1, making their way around right now as we check in with our front runners nearing the completion of this first lap of racing. As far as championships go in this one, it is a battle between the number 802 of Jacob Stevens and the 17 of McConsky. Actually, not much of a battle because Stevens has this one wrapped up, but McConsky and Weber only 5 points apart in a battle for the number 2 overall spot. So it'll be interesting to watch that as Jacob Stevens opens up with a lead in the Production C Division 1. Jesse Boyles in second. Colin Kearns in third. Mason Hunt is fourth. Tyler Trent in the number 5 spot. Frankie Witt is sixth. Seventh is Matt Lawrence. And eighth is Jordan Trimble. Ninth and 10th, Thomas Francis and Hunter Newell. I will point out these are division races. Once we have more than 20 riders on the starting gate that is signed up for a class, we have to break them up and narrow them down to the top 20. In this case, we have 2 different qualifiers. So we'll take the top 8 from each moto or each division. That'll give us 16 riders, and then we'll put the riders together for an LCQ a little later today, from which we will take the top 4, and those top 4 will go into Moto 2. Again, Moto 1 scores count for Moto 2, so those will carry on over in tomorrow. And if you go in by way of the LCQ, no, you don't get a 1. You get a 9, you get second, you get 10, 11, and 12, so there's only 12 points divvied out in that. But if you understand motocross, you understand what we're talking about. But right now, in Division 2, Nick Weber is the other player, one of the other players in this one. He is vying for that second place overall. He's got the lead in this one. Santiago Ortiz is running in second. Brandon Schmidtley, who's trying to play spoiler, I think, in this one, aboard the 423 is third. DJ Simonovich is fourth. Kenneth Payne in fifth. Chad Myers, 21, in sixth. Tyler Roberts, the number 9, is seventh. And that is your top 7 positions. And we'll have to get that 8th and final transfer spot as he's just a little under the mark there on our e-score screen at the moment. But look at this, coming into the big sweeper turn, we got some good racing going on there. I think that's the battle for third, fourth, and fifth right there. As your leader makes his way by, Jacob Stevens, Jesse Boyles. 5 seconds separate the two, another 5, almost, let's call it now as they check in a little bit longer. Colin Kearns has seen now an 8.4 second gap, and Mason Hunt moves into the position as we did see, and that was what I was seeing coming around that turn. Tyler Trent moves into fourth. Colin Kearns, who was third, now drops off to the number 5 spot. Frankie Witt is sixth. Jordan Trimble in seventh. Matt Lawrence in the number 8 spot.
Yeah, Jacob Stevens just putting a little icing on it right now. You say he's got it wrapped up. Well, there's no better way to go out than with a win, Rodney. And in the first 2 laps of racing, 5.2 second lead. Jacob Stevens just trying to leave no questions in this class.
I think he's doing a pretty good job of it, if truth be told. And right now, Nick Weber trying to make that statement back there in Division 2, checking in with this class. Do you know any of these guys in this Production C class by any chance?
Jesse Boyles used to race with us last year, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
actually, Jesse did transfer out of the youth ranks into this Production C class. And
so did Chad Myers, come out of the 400 class. And I know Nicholas Weber came from Schoolboy Junior, I want to say.
Wow. So, he moved up into that 450 or that Production C class from the from the Schoolboy Junior. That's a pretty big step for a kid, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a hard step. It's a different pace, and you got to pick it up. But it looks like he had no problem doing it.
You know, let's talk a little bit. You're probably one of the best people to tell and talk a little bit about this. We've got a brand new class here in 2015 as we watch the Production C class motor along here. But we've got a new class in the youth ranks called the Youth All-Star class. You know, we see a lot of the same players in that as we might see in the Super Mini or something like that. But tell me a little bit about the differences in those 2 classes.
Well, the Super Mini is going to be the 105s and 150s, which are going to be smaller, and they're not going to be going in as hot, and they're on the little bike frame still. When you step up to the Youth All-Star, you're going the same speed as a 450. You just have less power, and you just got to make it work. And
wow. That's pretty amazing to be able to pull that kind of speeds out of those little machines like that. What's it like for you to make the transition?
You just got to set up the bike good, and you just got to get in strength and train.
So strength and training is a big key thing there. I guess you would really have to be pretty strong to manhandle these quads around these racetracks, especially these conditions.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to make the bike stay where you want it to go.
Well, we're talking with Cody Ford, who is one of the Ford brothers, and from Ford Brothers Racing. First on race day Ford is what we always like to call these guys. Several youth championships to his credit. This guy right here, I know this year no championships, and it seems like you seem to be a little disgruntled about that. Is that going to make you work harder in the off season?
Yeah, we're definitely going to come back with a different program and try to get one next year.
There you go. I like to see the hunger in that. As Stevens now 3 laps in, Boyles, Hunt, Trent, Witt, Trimble, Newell, and Thomas Francis, your top 8 in Division 1. Division 2 is Nick Weber, Brandon Smitley, DJ Simonovich, Ortiz, Myers, Payne, and there's 2 more that I'm missing there, but we got 7th and 8th also that we'll be checking in with. Fast lap time, 2:05.317, and Megawatt, we talked about this. As the day wore on, we'd see lap time start out one way, they get faster as the track found its sweet spot, and then as the track really developed its most gnarly race pace, then the lap times would start to drop back down, and it's going in the cycle just exactly as anticipated. I think about on pace too, because as we get into the later part of the day, this track is really starting to take a lot of abuse out there, and it's putting forth a lot of great races, and now it's kind of like shifting the stage around to give even better races.
Yeah, you know, Rodney, we're going from a wet kind of slick from being watered and stuff early this morning to now we've got a hard pack slick going on. There's shiny spots all over the place out here. We've got deeper ruts. I noticed some of these quads actually bottoming out in some of the ruts down there, riding up on the corners of the berms and starting to get a bit high centered in some spots. So all that stuff's going to slow down a lap time, no question about it. You're going to have to be really careful in the corners. You're going to have to start watching some of the landings, and you're going to have to start picking your way through the holes as the day goes on. And as you said, lap times are starting to rise, and here's an indication of it.
Jacob Stevens takes the win in Division number 1 of this Production C class with Jesse Boyles some 12 seconds back. Talking about the separators, this track is the great separator. Another 20 seconds back to third, another 17 seconds back to the number 4 spot of Tyler Trent. Then we see things tighten up a little bit. Frankie Witt in 5th, 6th Jordan Trimble, Hunter Newell is 7th. Your final transfer spot will be Thomas Francis on the 44. As we go to the Production C class, we see Nick Weber, Brandon Smitley, DJ Simonovich, Chad Meyer, Santiago Ortiz, Kenneth Payne, and those guys looking like they are going to take the top 8 in the 2nd division. The remainder will go to an LCQ, where we'll take the top 4 a little later this afternoon. That'll be after our Pro Moto number 2 coming up at 5 o'clock. Don't forget, race fans, we will be having a Pro Rider autograph session coming up. I believe also we got some Mountain Dew hospitality going on down here at the Mountain Dew hospitality area, where you can try one of 5 different flavors of the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Plus, don't forget, they've got hydrating formulas, not only energy boosting, so to speak, or pick-me-up type stuff, but they also have got hydrating formulas, which is very critical and crucial, I think, in the lifestyles that we lead here in the ATV motocross racing world.
Yeah, when you look at it, Rodney, you got to have a different angle. Very competitive market, the energy drink market, and that type of thing. So when you talk about hydration, when you talk about refueling, when you talk about getting the body back in shape as well, that's a whole new angle, and Mountain Dew the first to have it.
Yeah, fueled with Dew and the electrolytes.
Right on. Right on.
That's good stuff. I love this stuff. Great flavors, too. But Production C wrapping up right now. We're going into a 90 shifter class. This is an 8 to 11-year-old division. And is this one of the classes you won a championship in a few years ago?
No, I won them in 90 CVT and 90 automatic senior.
Okay, so now what about this shifter class? What's different about this class than the rest of the classes? Because we got a shifter, we got a CVT, we got a limited. I mean, they're all 90s, dude. I mean, what can the differences be?
A shifter, you have like the dirt bike motors, Honda, they have clutches. You're going to have to shift them as you ride them. And the CVTs, they are belt driven and they are automatic.
So kind of like a centrifugal force type clutch going on in there, huh?
Yeah.
So that's the difference in that. Now, which is faster, the shifter or the CVT?
The more dominant bike is a shifter, if you can ride them good.
That's the key question right there. And and that's great, Matt. This, we recognize that from two-wheel side of things. When those kids make the transition from the 50s into the 65s, we start to see the clutches become involved. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. They give them some automatic and they give them some shifter all at the same time.
The first thing the kids worry about is the process of the shifting, going from gear to gear to gear and that type of thing. But what really happens, and what young Mr. Ford's explaining right here, is when you learn how to match the ground speed to the engine speed. When he says properly ride one, properly shift one, a lot of guys go through the motions, but when you can match the proper gear exiting that corner, when you match your ground speed to your engine speed, and then you progress on that by grabbing the next gear, increasing RPM and ground speed. A lot of kids will shift way early. They don't want the bike to hit hard. They don't want the power to come on hard. They don't want to lose traction. They don't want the bike to throw them down. But what happens is all of a sudden the bike falls off of RPM, so you've lost ground speed, you've lost RPM. Now you're shifting down to gain RPM and gain ground speed. A proper kid on an automatic, he's going to go right by the kid who doesn't know how to shift correctly.
Zach Decker leading the 90 shifter 8-11 Division 1 with Jaden Launderville, the number 3 in second. Mason Jackson, the number 5, back in the number 3 spot. We see Parker Roaring 69 and 4. Tristan Evans, our virus kid out there in the number 5 position. Tyler Rich 919 and 6. 7th place is Justin Messina, and rounding out the 8th and final transfer spot will be Dane Molander, the number 488. He is followed closely by Chase Richard, only 0.3 of a second behind him. So that's a good battle going on for that final transfer spot. Jake Zapolsky, Cale Deal 1 and 2 in the 2nd division with Aaron Salinas in 3rd. Grant Olson in 4th aboard the 48. Avery Durion 5th. We got Kobe Van Fossen, number 60, is 6th. And just missed out on my 7th place. Right. That's William Moore, I believe. Looks like right now, I was going to say fast laps. I'm looking for fast laps, but we haven't been able to determine that just yet. I'm kind of curious what these kids are turning in the 90 shifter 8 to 11-year-old class. As we look at point standings for these kids, we may see, again, another tight championship. Let's see how this one is breaking down. 90 shifter. Got 90 open right there, and 90 shifter point standings right now. This is the 8 to 11-year-old division, so the younger kids. Tristan Evans is your leader in the point standings and actually has this championship locked up. Brock Van Winkle and Dane Molander are battling for that number 2 spot. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm 90 shifter. All right, see that? Where am I at?
Yeah, we have Bryce up here to straighten him out. So
okay, so there's so many how many 90 classes do we have out there? There's like what, 6 or 8 of them, isn't there?
It seems like half a dozen to me, man.
Oh yeah, at least that. So now we're right to the right 90 class. This is 90 shifter 8 to 11. Max Lindquist won this one. Okay, that's one of those that he actually won. Zach Decker is leading the first division. He is 2nd in the point standings in this class. Aaron Salinas, who is also out here in Division 2, is 3rd in the point standings. Tristan Evans, who I said misspoke there, was leading the class, but he's actually 4th in this one. Jake Zapolsky is rounding out the top 5. Zapolsky is leading Division 2 right now and has the fastest lap time at a 2:19.397.
So here we have the makings right here, Rodney, of another fantastic race. When we pull these guys into one class and one gate, man, it's anybody's game when you look at these times.
Yeah, look at that. 2:19 for Zapolsky, at 2:20 there for Zach Decker. You're absolutely right. going to match up pretty nice between those two as we continue to watch the 90 shifter 8 to 11-year-old class. We got great racing action going on here at the world's greatest ATV motocross vacation. It's Dirt Days 2015, my friends, and we'll be back with more on RacerTV.com right after this.
If you're on a diet of taking it up a notch,
It's just different.
drink Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL for any engine.
Lucas Oil Pro Motocross returns to the legendary Ironman Raceway in Crawfordsville, Indiana for the second annual Bud Light Ironman National. Saturday, August 22nd. Located just 6 miles off I-74, exit 39. Be trackside with the Nerd Flies as the world's fastest motocross riders battle in bar-to-bar action that will get your fist pumping. Buy your tickets at the gate or in advance at IronmanProMX.com. Feel the roar of the speed-only motocross springs. The races start at 1 p.m. Saturday, August 22nd at Ironman Raceway. That's Saturday, August 22nd at 1 p.m.
And welcome back to the 33rd running of Dirt Days. Here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, Rodney Tom along with Matt Watson, Casey Creek out and about, and of course Cody Ford here in the tower with us, one of our youth racers here in the ATV Racing Nation as we celebrate, wow, I can't believe it, 33 years here in ATV motocross, the birthplace of the ATV National Motocross Championship right here. Now, Cody, I got to ask you, do you feel it all special whenever you come to Loretta Lynn's because it is such a highly touted and special place in a lot of folks' minds?
Oh yeah, it's definitely awesome to come here and race on the track that all the legends have. You've got Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath, and then you have John Natale, Doug Gus, and a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, like John, Chad Weenan, Joe Bird. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So it is kind of special for you. I mean, this isn't just another race. This is Loretta Lynn's to you then, huh?
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's always a reminder when you come here and see the billboard. It just sucks that there's no quad guys up on it yet.
That's it. Make it public. Let them know. We want to see ATV guys on that billboard over there. And they deserve a place there, too. And I expect to see that happening here pretty soon, to be honest with you. But regardless, they make their mark in the soils of Tennessee each and every year. And they're doing it right now as we're wrapping up this 90 shifter class. Decker takes the win, Roaring in second, Jaden Launderville in third, Mason Jackson in fourth, Tristan Evans for fifth, Tyler Rich sixth, Justin Messina in seventh, and Chase Richards is eighth. That's your final transfer position. Then Zapolsky, Deal, Olson, Van Fossen, Brock Van Winkle, Tavis Dudley, and Avery Durian all going to go into Moto 2. Again, reminding racers to check the posting board to make sure that you are or are not supposed to be in an LCQ a little later on, and when you're supposed to head back into Moto 2s. All right, that was race
27. Race 28 getting ready to blast off, and they just did. Race number 28, Production B, heats 1 and 2.
Sky Volkamer in this one aboard the number 14 from Runnels, Iowa. We got Gregory Latimer out of Olive Branch, Mississippi on the 21. The 24, Ryan Williams out of Hickman, Kentucky. 26, David Selecki from Canada. Oh, mercy. What do we got going on? Who do we got out front in this one? Have you been able to pick that one out? Is that Gillette maybe out? No, that's not Gillette. Pick up the number on that in a moment. We got Gabe Dahmer out there, Jaron Cochran, Jared Baker, Peyton Lingle, Joseph Cummings. Division 2 taking off now with Blake Sarver, Tommy Vossman, Tyler Mack, Darren Dillard, Zachary Kaczmarek, Sam Bergia. We got Jonathan Trower, Tyler Wrench, Brandon Cesaroni, Cole Broviak also out there with us, and Vince Merman. Wow, keep an eye out for Merman in his second division. He's going to be a tough one to dethrone, no doubt.
You with us there, Bryce?
Oh, this is Cody. Bryce is
Cody.
No, Bryce is not.
Bryce is not with us.
Bryce is actually on the gate right now, I believe.
So he's going to be coming up in this 90 shifter 12 to 15 class, the older shifters, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully he can go out and win it, but...
Now let me ask you, how's he doing? Is that one of the championships he's got locked up, or is that one that he's battling for?
No, he locked that one up at Unadilla, I believe.
Man, that's impressive. I mean, are you impressed for him to be able to do that only in his second year in this class?
I mean, the kid puts in the work, and it's just awesome to go out there and see him do it, and he's lucky a lot of times.
You know how many times I've heard Joe Bird say, I'd rather be lucky than good?
Sure. In motorsports, you bet, man. In any kind of motorsports.
It pays off, man. It really, really does. Peyton Lingle leading Sky Volkamer here in this Production B Division 1. Kirkland Jack is running second. Gabe Dahmer in the fourth place position. Ryan Williams in fifth. Sixth place, Logan Dusenberry. Seventh, David Selecki. Eighth place, Jaron Cochran. Back in ninth, Alex Gillette. And Gregory Latimer rounds out your top 10. Pro Moto 2 coming up here in about 25 minutes, 24 minutes or so at 5 o'clock. And we got more of this racing action, amateur racing action continuing. They race their first motos today. Second motos and championships will be crowned tomorrow on Sunday as we do each and every round of ATV motocross. But it's all Moto 1 and 2 racing on Saturday only for pro riders. And you race fans that are here, don't forget we'll have a pro rider autograph session coming up following the second moto. And look at that, man, coming out of Storyland. I thought it got rough back there last week. Man, the consistency of those bumps coming out of there is so different this week, Megawatt.
Holy cow, they're shaped different. They're different size. There's different spacing. You know, Peyton Lingle trying to check out here right now and had his own camera shot there. You couldn't even see second place. But when they came through those rough spots in Storyland, he slowed up so much that you could see second place. You could see Volkamer back there in the shot.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Brandon Cesaroni leading Division 2. Tyler Mack in second. Kaczmarek is running in third. Tommy Vossman in fourth. Blake Sarver, the number 17, is fifth. Cole Broviak in sixth. And Sam and Bergia rounding out the seventh place position. And this is, I believe, our leader, Peyton Lingle now. As you had pointed out, was really starting to open up quite a bit of a lead. Had a 2.3 second lead at the end of lap number 1. As we roll around for the end of lap 2, I think he might have had a bigger gap than that until that section of the racetrack.
He did. Volkamer and Jack right on top of him right now. As you're going to see this gap right now, 1.5, and then only half a second back to Gabe Dahmer. The problem is for Lingle, he hit a big hole out there. He lost about 2 seconds right away. That gave up his lead.
Fastest lap turned by third place rider Gabe Dahmer aboard the 171. A fast lap in this Production B class at the moment is a 2:01.369.
2 seconds faster than your leader.
That's pretty impressive. And will that translate into a pass? Because he's only 2 seconds behind him right now.
2 seconds behind him, 2
Ooh.
laps to go. So you bet that can translate into a pass, but it's just a matter who can hang on.
It's translating into a heck of a challenge, it looks like right now, as we've got things really tightening up now here in this Production B class.
I think Sky Volkmer just took the lead from Peyton Lingo.
All right, so good eye. Cody Ford calling with us here in the tower. We see Mark Baldwin is standing outside. I wanted to get a word in with Mark, too, coming up here shortly. So, Mark, don't go too far too quick, brother. We got Production B class going on right now. Again, working on lap 3. And so we might have a new leader. I believe we got Volkmer out front. We're going to check this coming in. And the big question right now is Gabe Dahmer. He's the rider that was turning the fastest lap, the faster lap. Is he going to be able to capitalize out here in this third lap as we'll be taking a white flag next time around?
Good question, Rodney. You know, you talk about that situation. It's just a matter of will you be able to take advantage of it or not? Will you be able to make that move happen? And it's anybody's guess on the last lap.
Well, anybody's about ready to guess because the last lap is about ready to happen, man. That white flag coming out right now as your leaders make their way down the Mountain Dew finish line stretch now. And here we come. Sky Volkmer, your new leader, a 2:01.5, still 0.2 of a second slower than the fastest lap turned by Dahmer there in the third place position. He is now 0.6 of a second behind Peyton Lingle, so we've got a great battle going on for second, coming around out of the Thor Forest now, out of that SSI Decals Forest. Through the short chutes here, we are watching our leader on the final lap, but the race is happening right behind him right now in the number 2 position.
No question. Those guys are really putting the pressure on each other right now. And then instead of pushing each other forward, they're actually slowing each other down just a bit and allowing your leader to pull away. And on the last lap, not a good thing. You're going to let that leader get that extra time. But the thing about it is these two guys pushing each other, two guys, one position. Who's going to get it?
Yeah, it's it. Who is going to get it? The question will be answered here soon. Lingle pressured by Dahmer. He saw the pressure coming from Volkmer a lap ago. There they are, side by side, coming out of the backside of Storyland now. We're catching glimpses of it.
You know, it's a great race going on back there. Look at these guys following each other almost in the air at the same time over these obstacles. And I got a little confused there with the gear, the black and the white and the shadows that we had there. But look at this. Now a move being made to the inside. Now if he continues on the gas, he's going to have the inside for the next corner also. And it looks like, is that Dahmer?
Yeah.
The one trying to make the move?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dahmer using those insides to his advantage as the track starts to go in. Look at this. Now, all of a sudden, up and over the Rocky Mountain, Dahmer has a distinct advantage.
Wow, I tell you, back and forth, I didn't know if he was going to be able to make it happen, to make it stick or not. We'll see whether or not he can hang on to it as they head over the Camelback out there into the big M-Soil sweeper turn now. What a great Moto 1 for this Production B class. This is Division 1. Sky Volkmer looking to take the win. We should be seeing checkers come out right now, as a matter of fact, and here comes that second place race. So Volkmer takes the win, and at the checkers, Dahmer does take second. Peyton Lingle in third, 1.4 seconds back, a 2:03.4. Again, the fastest lap on lap 2 was by Dahmer when he was back in the number 3 position. Logan Dusenberry running fourth aboard the 34. Kirkland Jack, the 35, rounds out your top 5. Then it's David Selecki in 6th. Alex Gillette up to the number 7 spot with a lap to go. And Jaron Cochran should round out your top 8 in that Production B class. What a great battle that took place there. It's about midway through, it all picked up and really heated up quite a bit for that first division.
Absolutely. Hey, you mentioned Mark Baldwin. We're going to try to get him in here in just a minute. And I want to say thanks one more time to Mike Allen. I don't know if he heard today. Mike Allen and the guys at Alco Cleaners here with us today. Yeah. Let me tell you something. That guy's a champ, man. Mike Allen, I got all the respect in the world for him. That guy, outside of being a businessman and a fan and a racer himself, that guy is involved in so many projects, just one of them being the Wounded Warrior Project. And, you know, hats off to Mike Allen. I encourage anybody that's a clean freak like myself that has a little OCD to go check out his products.
It makes people like me that are messy have an easy cleanup. You know, I got
dude,
some Alco
let me
cleaning.
tell you, you should be thankful for Alco's all I got to say. No
All right.
effort cleaning, okay? Spray on, spray off for you, okay? Dig it? So, hey, props to Mike Allen. Maybe we'll get him up here in a little bit. And I'm going to step out and see if I can grab a hold of Baldwin. We'll get him in here.
All righty, sounds good. And we'll continue to watch this production B class wrap up. We did see Dahmer Lingle, Dixonberry, Jack, Selecki, Gillette does finish 7th, Cochran in 8th. Division 2 is Cesarone, Tyler Mack, Zachary Kazamarek, Blake Sarver, Tommy Vossman in 5th, Cole Broviak, Tyler Wrench. Those are your transfer spots there. Hey, real quick, Matthew Newell, you need to visit the Fox trailer and pick up your shocks. Matthew Newell, pick up your shocks down here at the Fox trailer. Do want to say thanks to Cody Ford. Stick around, man. You can come back in whenever Mark gets done if you want to, man. I know you're kind of enjoying this and you want to watch little brother ride, but Mark Baldwin making his way here into the tower now as the gate is down on little brother's race, I believe. Stick around. Don't go anywhere if you don't want to. This is 90 shifter 12 to 15 year old class. Yeah, he's going to go out and watch. I don't blame him. And we're going to pick up some action here for you and let you know what's going on. We got riders like Braden Schiamone, Max Lindquist making the move up to the big class now. He's riding the 07, the 11, Jake Hughes out of Conroe, Texas. Number 12, Dylan Fallon out of Loxahatchee, Florida. 13 is John Hanna out of Zeoma, Tennessee. 23, Corey Richmond from Akron, Ohio. We also have Lane Baird. Welcome back to the dude out of Sturgis, Kentucky. Bryce Ford, whom we were talking to here just a few moments ago, and his brother Cody just stepping out. He's vying for a title in this one. Actually, I think he's got the title locked up in this one, maybe. Jake Visnick out of St. Clairsville, Ohio, the 55. Malachi Marshall, I love that name, the 99 out of Greenville, Kentucky. 119, Gavin Haydu out of Crown Point, Indiana. 127, Blaine Thomas out of Quincy, Illinois. 133, Wesley Chapel, Florida's Lance Walker. 404, Trevor Thatcher out of Swanton, Ohio. 504, Brandon O'Neill out of Baldwin, Maryland. And 801, Corey Boast out of Loxahatchee, Florida. And speaking of Baldwins, now Mark Baldwin, you're here with us. Is that town named after your family by any chance?
Not that I'm aware of, Roger.
Considering you're from Ohio, that's an awful long ways away, right?
Exactly.
Joined now by the legendary Mark Baldwin from Baldwin Motorsports, who has been a part of the ATV racing community, the ATV racing nation, as we like to call it, since, man, it seems like its inception. I know we talk about 1983 being the first year, our 33rd year of Dirt Days. And I got to ask you, we know that Joe Bird has been coming for 30. How long has Mark Baldwin been gracing the gates here at Loretta Lynn's?
Well, I think Joe's got me beat by a couple years. So we started here. I came down the first year with Tim Farr and his brother Tommy in 1987, Rodney. So been here every year since, and man, just so many improvements have been done here, and it's an awesome facility.
It most certainly is. And speaking of improvements and facility, what about this year, man? It's different again. You come here thinking one thing. You got all these mindsets coming in with these setups and everything. It's a whole new ball game, man. You guys have been scrambling, I bet, all day long.
You know what? It's kind of back to the way the Loretta's used to be. And Tim's here this weekend, of course, helping Josh a little bit. And it's, you know, back when I first started coming here, this is the way Loretta's was, rough, hot, and you had to be in shape if you were going to win here. And so
we've kind of sissied it up over the last few years. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I would agree with that.
Not the first guy to say that this week. You know, not the first guy to point that out. You know, say, I remember back in the day. Well, I have to agree with you, Mark. I mean, it seemed like things were more peaked. Things were a lot rougher. Things were just a bit tougher all around as far as square edge bumps, ruts, and the surface itself.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, they've added a lot of sand here to the track and stuff, and it's creating a lot of kickers, and it's cool. It's intense, and the guys that got their stuff set up and know how to pick the correct lines and everything, they're the ones that are going to run out by the top, man.
And they're going to come out with that aspect we call survival.
There you
go.
Survival
Loretta Lynn's, my man.
That's the name of the game. I mean, you watch Chad. He's just it's poetry in motion, man.
Absolutely.
And he knows what lines to pick. And I mean, Joel's doing a great job as well. But man, Chad's got some things figured out when it comes to rough tracks like this here.
Yeah, we even talked during that first moto how smooth Chad looked like he was riding. You know, Joel was out there hammering a bit. There comes Rastrelli blowing up berms and cutting across lines, you know, making it exciting as could be. But you're right, you know, Chad was feeling the flow, no two ways about it. Knew how to make a rough track look smooth.
Exactly, you know, and he's patient, and, you know, he isn't working on his fourth champion for nothing, you know, so it's good.
Exactly.
So.
Well, we're watching the 90 shifter 12 to 15-year-old class. We're enjoying conversation now with one of the icons in our sport from Baldwin Motorsports, Mark Baldwin, who's helped to build champion after champion in this series, whether it be amateur or professional. Brandon O'Neill, after 2 laps, continues to lead the 90 shifter 12 to 15-year-old class. Trevor Thatcher in second. Lance Walker in the number 3 spot. Malachi Marshall is fourth. Corey Richmond running in the number 5 spot aboard the 23. Bryce Ford is running 6th aboard the number 44 in 7th place. The dude, Lane Baird, welcome back to him, his first race this year, running aboard the number 25. 8th place, Corey Boast, the 801. 9th place, Max Linkless, his first race in this big bike class, I think, at least. I don't think he raced at Red Bud, but rounding out the top 10 is Gavin Haydu aboard the number 119. So, Mark Baldwin, got to say congratulations to you on last year when we talked to you. A lot of changes taking place in the offseason. You teamed up with one of the another big name in the sport, John the Tally Man, and it was funny in the offseason. We saw that that preview video come out. And it said out to win championships, and I got to say, though John is out now here for the ATV Motocross National Championship Series itself. It was pretty cool to see you guys come out at Daytona ATV Supercross and be able to stand behind those claims, man, and grab that number 1 plate like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of hard work that went into that whole thing, and, you know, it's very unfortunate John got hurt, but that's the nature of this business, and, you know, it's never really happened to me in my program, but it was awesome, Rodney, and to go out and win that inaugural Daytona, it was a lot of fun, and, you know, the sport needs some more hype, and, you know, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, and I think races like the Daytona ATV Supercross, I think races like the upcoming race that we have at Soaring Eagle Casino, the Edge Summer Motocross is going to be taking place August 28th on that Friday up there in Michigan. And even races like the Pro Challenge that's going to be taking place in October down in Texas. Those are the type of events that really help to build the momentum, I think, of this ATV Racing Championship.
You're 100% correct there, Rodney, and we need some more standalone events like that. And you know, motorcycle racing, they're racing the whole season, and we're kind of like limited to just the national series. Mm-hmm. So it's better if we have some of those standalone events.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And I think they're going to be coming more and more in the future. As Brandon O'Neill looks like he might be coming in the future as well, because he's got a 12-second lead, man. I mean, this kid, it's funny, you know, this kid early in the season, Mark Baldwin, I don't know if you're familiar with the 504 or not, but O'Neill was a mid-pack racer in the early part of if he was running top 5, he was about where we expected him to be. Last 4 rounds or so, 3 rounds, we've been seeing him battle for wins.
Yeah, I've been keeping a pretty close eye on this because I helped Bryce a little bit, and Brandon's definitely stepped up his game, and it's good to see, you know. So he's definitely improved this year. I'm glad to see it.
No doubt. Lance Walker running in the number 2 spot. We got Trevor Thatcher in third. Now Bryce Ford is up to the number 4 spot aboard the 44. Again, trying to. Actually, I think this championship he might be the one of those 2 that he has already locked up.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Rodney, what he's got locked up or whatever.
I got a list here. The only thing is, there's so many 90 classes that I get confused in it. As a matter of fact,
got to keep this way up here.
So right now, 90 shifter. We got the 12 to 15. Okay, here we go. We got that one. I can. I think I do anyway.
You know, Rodney, while you're looking at that, I got to comment on something. You were talking about Mark helping a lot of champions in this series and stuff, but let me tell you something about Baldwin Motorsports. They're not just moto guys by any stretch of the means, man. They can build a motor package, ignition package for cross country, for enduro, for bikes, for quads. It doesn't really matter. Baldwin's been in the game for a long time, and Mark's capable of building motor packages and power no matter what kind of quad you ride, no matter where you ride it.
That's correct, man, and we do a lot of stuff not only here at the motocross scene, but we do it at TT, cross country, doing some stuff on the side-by-sides now. So we're very diverse, you know. It's good.
Yeah, and I want to make sure you get your props because I've seen a lot of your motors in action. I've seen your program over the years, and I want to tell you something. Your reliability is almost second to none, man.
Yeah,
your stuff doesn't break. We never see Baldwin stuff getting pushed off the
Knock
track.
on wood, man.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So props to you. You know,
Yeah,
and
no,
outside of this series that we're talking about today, you
Yep.
guys can build a motor, or ignition, or transmission for anything.
Yeah, we work hard at it, you know, and I strive for that.
Awesome. Well, you do a great job of it,
thanks.
and you know what? That everybody needs to know that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I tell you, Mark, you got to be pretty proud of what's going on the GNCC side of things, too. You got motors over there that are about to win a championship with Adam McGill and some guys.
Well,
huh?
we definitely got our work cut out with Walker Fowler, but, you know, I'm going to leave that up to Adam.
There you go.
So he's putting in a lot of hard work here in the off-season, or I'm sorry, the break. But I'm sure Walker's doing the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be
That's
interesting.
going to be interesting. The GNCC series continues, what is it, September
6th, I believe, something like that.
10th, or maybe, I think it's a little later
It's early like that. I mean, it's early in the month.
Yeah, GNCCRacing.com. Check it out.
Yeah, but
find out more.
The other thing that's kind of interesting, guys, we haven't talked about is I'm taking Adam McGill, Josh Upperman, and Jeffrey Rastrelli over to the race in Pont-Neuf, France.
Oh, yes, I did read about that. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, it's a 12-hour event in Pont-Neuf, France. I've done it, I think, 5 or 6 other times. We've won it one year with Tim Farr, Harold Goodman, and Shane Hitt. Done it a couple times with Tim also in the KTMs. And I've got a good friend in Belgium that wanted to do it this year and purchased the bike and put it together. And, you know, of course, John was going to be part of that program, but because of his injury, he couldn't do it. So I asked Jeffrey here about 2 weeks ago, and so we depart, August 18th to go over there. Back on the 24th, the race is 21, 22, and 23, so it's good. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Well, congratulations on such a great team.
Sure.
I know the Ironman's going to be missed. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, that's going to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So look down on the line, guys. Did you see what time it is? It's 5 minutes till the hour of 5 o'clock, and I think these guys might be a little bit late on their side laps right now, but we are about ready to go ATV motocross racing again with our AMA Pro ATV racers. Moto 1 saw a win by Joel Hetrick. The gap now as we head into the final round is going to be 12 points between Chad Weenan and Joel Hetrick. So again, it's going to take quite a bit of a upset here in order for Hetrick to win this championship. Finishing second in that first moto, Chad Weenan. He's riding aboard the number 1. The 84, Thomas Brown, took a third-place position in Moto 1. Aboard the number 84, Ronnie the Flash, almost evil Higgerson at the 665. He finished 4th. That's got to be one of the best motos I've seen Ronnie Higgerson race in quite some time.
Ronnie was putting it down out there, man, so it was good.
It was, and here's something to point out. We've seen this happening. We've seen this coming the last 3 or 4 rounds, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up his game and doing some training somewhere, and it definitely shows.
I think some people may have seen it since the first round, but I really started noticing. Well, I've seen a lot of great things out of Ronnie, but he's gotten really consistent the last few rounds. Up to 4th, Dave Hagsma, the quad cross champion from out in California. A good first moto for him, Mark Baldwin. He ran 3rd place for a good part of that first moto.
Yeah, and you know, I was actually talking to David after the moto, and he said he just, you know, he hasn't been able to train as much because of the works races he's doing, and he just wasn't quite ready for the heat. So maybe a little, I know he was eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich over there getting ready for the second moto, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry and extremely honest.
Yeah,
you know, it's just,
exactly.
hey, man, I just didn't have the opportunity, and this shows, you know, and it's okay.
Yeah, he's raced,
it's good.
Yeah, he's raced the last 5 weekends in a row out on the West Coast, and, you know, he's spent a lot of time traveling and flying here and everything, and so it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, and he kicked a lot of butt out there to mention, too.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, he's top runner in California, or the Work Series. Yep.
Believe it.
Yep.
Wow, so he's a quad cross champion and a top runner in the Work Series. That's pretty impressive stuff. Hagsma is certainly making a name for himself in the world of ATV racing, no doubt. Jeffrey Rastrelli finished 6th in Moto 1. The AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year, Nick Janusa, finished in 7th. Joe Bird took an 8th place finish. 9th place went to Cody Jansen. Casey Martin rounded out in the top 10. Then it was Sean Taylor, Nico Cobby, Silas Layman's, Josh Upperman, Jesse Barnes, Vital Kazanabe. Now, Josh had some sort of problem. I know he used to ride for you, rides for River, but I know you keep a close eye on what's going on.
You know, I missed that, Ronnie. I don't know what happened the first lap there, but somebody told me that I think it was in the 10 Commandments he flipped or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I got one of these signals that he crashed. You know, didn't tell me exactly what happened, but we got one of those signals. And down here on the starting line, look at that, man. Hedrick is pretty charged up to be back, it looks like. He looks like he's ready for Moto 2.
Joel's got his game on, man, and he's ready to go.
Now, I got to ask a question right now. I got to wonder, do you think that I know how calm, cool, and collected Chad Wienen is, but do you think there's something in the back of his mind saying, don't blow this, don't blow this, don't blow this, don't blow this?
Man, and it's, Ronnie, when you're, he's working on his 4th championship, I'm sure he's definitely thinking about that championship, you know, trying to win the war instead of the battle.
Well, he's got a pool in the pits. They put up a new pool in the pits, the Yamaha pits over there. I'm surprised. I thought he was going to get a hot tub too over there.
Yeah, well,
he's already planning for the party, so I don't think if he goes out and does what he does best, I think we're in pretty good position, right?
I think the cards are stacked in his favor.
I think you're absolutely right about that. As we say hello to Mike from over Alco Cleaners, all green, all mean, the all mean, all green cleaning solution. Actually, it's biodegradable stuff, and I'm going to tell you, thank you. He's already done it. I've got the mud release, and I got the the one stuff, the wash, and then I've got the detailer stuff. My gosh, man, I have a camper. I washed my camper. When I came to the next race, Dean said, I didn't realize your camper was white.
Well, thanks, Rodney. We're proud of our products, and we're glad that you like them. And so far, everybody that purchases our products can't believe how well they work. So we're excited about it.
Now, tell the folks at home where they can go online to find out a little bit more about Alco Cleaners, and then also here at the racetrack.
Well, you could go to alcocleaners.com. So that's pretty easy to remember. And also, we're right next to Baldwin Motorsports, right on the opposite corner of the Maxxis rig over here. And I'll tell you what we're going to do for the, we'll see how much people are paying attention. For you folks who haven't tried our cleaners, the next 10 customers that come by our tent to try our cleaners, if you spend $30, we're going to give you a $20 t-shirt free.
Wow, nice.
So, for the next 10 customers, go by and see Joey, and that'll give you a chance to try our products out. And we know that once you do, you'll be hooked. So.
I can tell you I'm hooked, no doubt about it. So go to alcocleaners.com on the World Wide Web. We got Moto 2 getting ready to start. Mike, I don't mean to rush out, brother, but I appreciate you being here and being part of the ATV racing this week, man.
Not a problem. We thank you.
So head on over, check them out here at the racetrack. Check them out on the World Wide Web as well. And like Megawatt said, they give back to the Wounded Warrior Funds and all kinds of things. So, so much that they do, not only from making a great cleaner on top of that.
And let me add this, Rodney. If your dealer does not sell Alco Cleaners, ask them to do it. Tell them to get with Mike. Give them Mike's number. Tell them to go to alco.com. He set up my local dealer instantly, and we went from having the standard cleaners to the best cleaner in the business in a week's time.
No doubt about that, as the revs are up, and it looks like we are moments away from the gate drop and the historical final moto of the 33rd running of this Dirt Days 2015. Here we go, into the first turn.
Looks like Chad Wienen to the inside. Oh, no.
Did Joe Bird just get the whole shot?
Joe Bird.
That's what we're hearing. Joe Bird got the whole shot aboard the number 7, and that's pretty cool, man. 42 years old, and his 30th year here at the ranch. That looks like one of your old riders right there with that big green bumper out front. That's Josh Upperman pulling to the front of the pack.
Yeah,
holy cow.
He's definitely ahead now. And looks like Wienen's in 3rd. Don't see Joel.
Oh, man, where is Joel right now? Hagsma is battling right now. Looks for 2nd place now, getting around Bird. Looks like I think Wienen might have dropped off to the number 4 spot as they get this separated right now.
As we predicted, Rodney, anything can happen on these starts. So in the first couple turns, the key players not in 1st and 2nd position.
No, and this is going to be a rather interesting battle, no doubt. And We got a lot of changes that could possibly take place, or they could finish out like this. Remember, it's third days. It's the final round of 2015. This is the moto where crazy things can happen. Hands in the air for some fans because they are seeing things they haven't seen in quite some time and things they'd hoped to see. Right now, we watch, we wait with bated breath as our leaders now enter the heart of this race course. Josh Upperman out front. It is now Chad Weenan up to the number 2 spot as we round the sweeper turn. Here comes Weenan on the inside trying to make the pass already. Not going to happen. That is that Hagsma, I believe, in the number 3 spot. Let's double check that as they get a little bit closer. And that is Kid Dynamite, I think, now in the number 4 spot. So Upperman checking in on the number 1 spot. Weenan, Hagsma, Ronnie Higgerson. Wow, that's Higgerson. Joe Hedrick is 5th. Jeffrey Rastrelli in 6th. Thomas Brown in 7th. 8th place now, Joe Bird. 9th place, Nick Janusa. And 10th place, Casey Martin. Wow, what an eventful first lap of racing here.
That's just crazy, guys. I mean, it's
look
awesome.
Look at that list of names right there, Baldwin. Are you kidding me?
Man.
1 through 10? Wow, that's a dream lap anywhere.
Yep, that's good.
Now, here's the interesting thing. Joel Hedrick back in 5th. He's going to be laying it all on the line. He comes here to win.
He's definitely going to be laid on the line, I'm sure of that.
So we're going to keep an eye on that. Into the 10 Commandments we go. It is still Josh Upperman in the number 1 spot. It is still Weenan in 2nd. But here comes Hagsma now, putting the pressure on the defending champ. And right behind him, he's still got Ronnie Higgerson and Joel Hedrick running 4th and 5th place positions.
Wow, what an aggressive move through the Commandments there, Rodney. I'm telling you, had bad intentions on his mind right there as he made that move for sure.
Down to the far end of the racetrack now, out of sight of the announcer's tower, but not out of sight of our TV cameras as Josh Upperman, Chad Weenan, Dave Hagsma, 1, 2, and 3. Ronnie Higgerson still back there in 4th, and Joel Hedrick still in 5th, ready to unleash the big guns here in just a few moments, I'm sure.
Rastrelli, Brown, and Bird back there having her own race right now. I can tell you this much. Anything can happen right here, Rodney. When you got these kind of riders this close together, you got this much speed and talent. My goodness, one mistake equals a big disaster.
Wow, a lot of Weenan making that pass. You could hear the crowd out on the deck out there, Megawatt, going completely nuts as he moves into the number 1 spot. Here comes Upperman now trying to shift to the outside, use that outside momentum as they close in on the conclusion of lap number 2, and already a lot of things taking place. And now here comes Hagsma knocking on the door of Josh Upperman for 2nd.
Wow, holy cow. Hagsma all over the place, dude.
Look at this, man. Josh Upperman in all kinds of trouble right now.
Less than half a second, man. Hagsma looking for a way all around. Upperman feeling the heat right now, feeling the pressure. Hedrick up into that 4th spot, and his job's just getting started.
Wow, watching the reactions right now of Mark Baldwin. I think you're holding your breath right now still for Josh Upperman, aren't you?
Well, a little bit. You know, there's worked with Josh over so many years. You know, we're good buddies. You know,
that's
so
right.
This is awesome racing, guys. It's tight, and we need this. This is cool, man. With Hagsman in there, and it's good stuff.
It is, and we got Hedrick now up to the number 4 spot as Higgerson drops off to 5th, heading into the 10 Commandments. It looks like Chad Weenan trying to stretch things out. Meanwhile, Upperman trying to hold steady in 2nd. Here comes Hagsma. Is that Hedrick back in that number 4 spot now? Scoring and timing told us it was Hedrick, but I'm not thinking that's Hedrick right there. It didn't look like Hedrick.
Okay.
They were showing Hedrick in 4th.
Hedrick stuck on the inside of the corner, and that was Thomas Brown that we were looking at there. I was like, that looks like the 84 Yamaha, man. Talk about, wow, letting it slip away when it's crunch time. That's the only problem we've seen so far. 3 crunch time moments for Joel Hedrick, and we've seen him fold so far this year. And I'm not meaning to say take anything away from this kid, but those are the things that he's going to have to work on in the offseason.
Absolute disaster, Rodney. We talked about it just no more than an hour and a half ago, how critical every corner was going to be, how critical every line and every choice was going to be. And that one little mistake, that one hang up on that corner was a disaster in this.
Pass made for 2nd place position now as we see Hagsma moving into the number 2 spot around Josh Upperman. And look at this 3-way battle as Thomas Brown now trying to sneak underneath, threads the needle on Upperman. Upperman drops off to the number 4 spot. at least for the moment, and Hagsman's in trouble now for the number 2 spot as Thomas Brown's coming on hard charging.
Thomas Brown bringing the heat right now. Got that thing pegged. Listen to the rev limiters. He's coming by. Thomas Brown, a man on a mission right now. Got to point out our man Mark Baldwin, talk about how smooth Weenan was. Watch this guy on the camera right now, Mark. His head's not moving. The elbows haven't changed position. The bike's doing all the work now.
It's crazy the way that guy makes the bike work, and his sheer size and just his whole package is perfect.
Well, right here he's displaying that to 100% of his ability, man. I can tell you.
It's crazy.
2 laps, actually 3 laps, working on lap number 4 right now. The fast lap time, believe it or not, late in the day, at 2:03.6. This track has really taken some abuse today.
Let me tell you something. You talk about rough, man. We said it was going to happen. I never imagined that our leader was going to be running a 2:03 at this stage of the day. I was figuring maybe a 1:59, somewhere around there. We dipped as low as 1:54 earlier in the day, but 2:03, what did that tell you about this course right now?
It's good, guys. And that last shot there, the camera angle was just awesome because you can see the ruts and stuff and how square edged the holes are. And until you guys sit on the seats, you don't understand what these guys are reading in the train and how difficult it is and how they got to shift and brake and use the clutch to get in and out of that stuff. And these guys are working hard right now, real hard.
I got to say, probably one of the most visually stimulating types of racing to watch for me is ATV racing, period, hands down. And ATV motocross, probably a little bit more so than any other type of ATV racing because there's so much going on out there, man. I mean, you're watching 4 wheels do something independent the whole time and the body up there trying to react to it all.
And these things are like the fucking Broncos that are trying to ride, and they're 400-pound vehicles, and it's tough to hang up to.
Brown making the pass here now as another great ride by Thomas Brown here at Loretta Lynn's as they round the big sweeper turn. Brown is finally hit the groove in the mode that he wants to hit out here. Hagsman, though, is keeping him honest. Look at this. Chad Weenan's 2:04 now puts him only 5 seconds ahead. I want to point out something. The last 4 or 5 motos of racing, we've seen up to 15-second gaps between second and third. Now, look at this. It's not. This is one of the tighter races we've had in a while, looks like, Mark Baldwin.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. But we're only on lap 4.
Right.
So we'll see what it is in the end.
At 8 minutes into this race, we've seen as many as almost 30 seconds between the second and third place ride.
Very true, Ronnie. And that's, I guess I wasn't looking at the moto time. I'm kind of losing track of it with as exciting as it is.
It is very exciting. And this, I got to say, this is probably about the most excited I've seen you watch a race in a while. So I know this is good stuff going on out there.
Hey, last time around when Thomas made that pass, this whole group of bleachers erupted down here. So I want to tell you, the fans are down with the Brown right now, son. They appreciate a good ride. They appreciate the charge. And like I said, this group of people out here, they're down with the Brown for right now.
Well, Chad Weenan, your leader, and looking like he's motoring his way to the championship. The kid that had a slight opportunity if things were to work out in his favor. Joel Hetrick now all the way back in the number 7 spot aboard that number 88. Mark Baldwin, we're watching Joel Hetrick now. You got to wonder what's going on in his mind. Has he just pretty much just given up at this point?
You know what? You can't give up because it's not over till the fat ladies sing.
There you go. I like the way you put that. Now, if he's not giving up, do you think that maybe something's gone on there? He's made mistakes. Is there mechanical problems? Is it, you think, mental problems?
Matt, go ahead.
Mark, I was going to say real quick, one problem leads to another. You're trying to regroup. You've got so many things right. You want to overcome that mistake so bad, Mark, that guess what happens?
Another mistake occurs, and that's the difference between a true champion and a guy that's not quite there. And Joel's definitely impressed me this year, and he's got a little more work to do to go out and be at the top.
He is, but a lot of maturity over the course of this last
year. Yes, he's matured.
He's
matured 100-fold, and he's awesome. He's doing a great job, but he just needs to collect himself and keep pushing forward,
Well, as we look and watch Hetrick, it looks like he might be trying to lay it down, like you said. It's not over till the bat lady sings, so to speak, and this opera is still going on strong right now. Joel Hetrick now 5 laps in. We're now 10 minutes, working on 11 minutes in. The only problem for Joel Hetrick right now, I'm not going to say that he doesn't have the speed to make up only 11 or 12 seconds, or however many seconds it is, up 15 seconds or so up to the pack. But he doesn't have time at this particular point. That's what we're running out of. Jeffrey Rastrelli looks like Matt Watson is starting to make some moves as well, as he's now up to the number 5 spot.
Yeah, it looks like he's putting the heat on Upperman right now. Rastrelli's found some new life here. He, too, made a little mistake there early in the race.
And he's caught up to Josh Upperman now as they make their way into Storyland.
Yeah, he's just going to put the heat on. He's going to sit right there and wait for something to happen.
So here we go into Storyland. Jeffrey Rastrelli getting a late race charge, and Josh Upperman getting a late race challenge, it looks like now, as Jeffrey Rastrelli, whom we've talked about these types of conditions, would be a rider that would excel. Not seeing it so much here in the second moto, but man, he is on rails here in the final few moments.
Yeah, and there's pretty sure a good points battle going on there between those two riders. So I know Josh didn't have a real good first moto, so I think pretty sure Upperman needs to beat him to sustain his points lead.
Well, as we look at the series points right now, Rastrelli and Brown, they were 2 points apart coming into the race in Moto 1. As they exited Moto 1, Rastrelli then gained a few more points, so there were 6 points separating the two. So it is a good battle for these guys, but Rastrelli should have the overall championship position, I believe, of what we're looking at there, 4th place. Yep. But at the same time, riding for pride out here on this racetrack. It is Loretta Lynn's. It is Dirt Days. And that is Josh Upperman, followed by Jeffrey Rastrelli as they make their way past the finish line now for lap number 6 complete. Working on 7 as we're working on 13 minutes into this second and final moto of 2015.
Rastrelli back here just checking things out. He's using every inch of the course. You know, following is not racing. And what I can tell you about Rastrelli is I see him drifting a little bit to each side, just kind of looking for that opening, looking for maybe that little smoother line, or waiting for Upperman's bike to kick or pitch just a bit where he can jump in there and force the issue maybe.
Yeah, Jeffrey's good at that, you know, from his mini bike days. He's a true racer and looks at all the lines of the track. He does a great job.
Rastrelli, as we said, is pushing Upperman now. Watching, looks like Dave Haxman still keeping Thomas Brown honest. He's only dropped off to about a 3-second gap here. So wow, look at that, man. Upperman really nailing that 10 Commandments section that last time.
Yeah, aggressive through there. Looked extremely smooth, but you can tell every time the tires hit the ground, Rodney, the gas was on, and he was motivating forward.
Well, look at that. Hetrick is reeling both those guys in. Is that Hetrick right behind? It is Rastrelli. He may be about ready to make the big surprise here. Watch him go. That is Joel Hetrick now pulling up side by side on Jeffrey Rastrelli through Storyland.
Holy cow. Look at this move around the outside, carrying a gear high, maybe keeping that momentum up. Headed for the beach right now. Sets him up on the inside, Rodney, so in prime position to make it stick.
Wow, a new position there. Jeffrey Rastrelli drops to 6. Joel Hetrick up to the number 5 spot. Now Josh Upperman going to have his hands full out of Kid Dynamite. And here we go. The race is on now as they roll their way back toward the heart of this racetrack right now. And here toward the finish line, that's the battle right now for the 4th place position coming around the sweeper turn. So many different things we're trying to watch right now on the racetrack. Here comes the battle right there. We're watching physically. Look how close those guys are together. Look at the English that Hetrick is using on that machine, just trying to point it in the right direction to land it, maybe in an advantageous point to get around Upperman. And look at that, pulling up beside him right there.
Coming in over the bump, Rodney, at the billboard right there, trying to make it happen on the inside. Holy cow, carrying the momentum. Look at this, the pass being made going into turn 2.
Wow, so Upperman has now moved into the number 4 spot. We got 6 seconds now up to Dave Haxman. That may be the only saving grace as we are now 15 minutes into this moto. We'll see the 2-lap board coming out this time around. And that means that I think he's going to run out of time, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, the time is
but man,
it's about expired.
It is, but Hetrick putting on a great late race charge like this. So
yes,
you got to be impressed by that.
Absolutely, but I got to give props to Weenan, man. 13-second lead right now, this moto out. on the track is the roughest it's been all day long. So here we go, Mark. Mr. Smooth. Like we said, smoother than a mayonnaise sandwich, dog.
That's a good analogy.
Getting it done, man, out here. And
it'll be 15 seconds before this lap's done.
It absolutely will be, Mark.
Yep.
And, you know, a testament to that style. Let me tell you, over the years, you had different guys. You had Magoo, you had Hannah. They were Chargers and stuff like that. Then you had your Baileys, your O'Mara Smooth guys. And I have to tell you right now, Chad Weenan just showing me that. Left and right. Sure. All these guys out there fighting. You watch Rastrelli manhandling that bike. Upperman throwing the English to that bike. Chad out for a Sunday cruise, man.
Just out on
guys that are on lock.
Yep, for sure.
Amazing thing to watch, and everybody here today that got to see it got to see the best on the track.
Yeah,
the
for
best
sure.
in the world, no doubt about it. Right here at Dirt Days, the world's greatest ATV racing vacation. Not much of a vacation for these boys here today as they are putting it through the paces. We're watching Joel Hetrick right now, who's back and forth. And our leader, Chad Weenan, just checked in with a 2:06.4, some 14, almost 15 seconds ahead of now second place Thomas Brown. Another 4 seconds back to Hagsma. 2.6 seconds back to Joel Hetrick. Hetrick may be going for the podium here in this second moto. Can he make it happen as we catch up with this battle heading around the mechanics area right now into the SSI Decals Whole Shop Forest?
I think Joel's going to be on the podium whether he passes David or not, but he's definitely on a charge, and David better turn it up a little bit.
Holy cow, look at the speed Patrick is carrying right now. Look at the momentum at this guy. He's not letting off, Mark, I'm telling you.
He doesn't know what letting off is.
Throttle control to him is lock it and leave it. That's throttle control. Man. Holy cow, what an
watch him triple out.
Here it comes, 3 through the end.
Yep.
Wow, impressive.
He'll probably triple this next deal here too, but nope.
A bit sideways, got kicked just a bit off of that lip, but let me tell you, here it comes. The momentum, the long way around, bringing it to the inside. Watch this, you guys. Neither one going to let off. Holy cow. And look at this. Makes it on the long way around, Rodney. Makes it stick, carrying that extra gear. Mark, tell us about momentum.
That's corner speed, and Joel definitely has it. And it's, you know, I talked about Jeffrey Rastrelli in his mini bike days, and Joel comes off the mini bike, and that's what those kids have learned. You know, is it's all about momentum. So it's proof in the pudding.
There's the perfect example right there. Exactly. What momentum does.
Yep.
So Joel Hetrick, like you said, not a champion this year in the AMA Pro ATV class, but he is certainly leaving his mark in the 2015 championship season as the number 1 of Chad Weenan makes his way around now on lap number 9. We should be getting in the final lap of racing right now. Joel Hetrick is headed on down to the finish line region himself behind Thomas Brown, who is second. So Hetrick is only 3 seconds behind Thomas Brown now. And we got 1 lap to go, I believe. I think we got the checker flag or the white flag out and the checker flag coming on this one. Is it safe to say that Hetrick might reel in Thomas Brown and challenge for second now?
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a stretch, but anything is possible. So
well, look at the lap time.
And he's really gained on him a lot here in the last little bit, man. Yeah, he's catching a lot.
A 2:03 to a 2:08 lap time. That was 5 seconds faster that last time around. He's coming with a vengeance right now. Wow, look at that.
He's coming, man. It's crazy.
Holy cow.
That was a heck of a bump coming out of the inside of that turn right there.
You know, it
see what happens right here.
Off a little bit, Rodney, but he didn't shut the bike off. Okay, it threw his balance off a little bit, threw his momentum off, but the guy never shut the throttle.
You got to wonder, man, had that not happened, would Brown be feeling a little more pressure right now?
Woo!
But we ain't to the checkers yet, and Brown ain't captured second place. So just at the moment, so we still got a little bit of time to go. Hetrick still may be in contention for second place here today. Impressive ride nonetheless that he's been able to make at that push up from about a 7th place position here early in the moto.
Let me tell you, you see that thing wide open, riding that wheelie, Rodney, preloading into that jump, trying to get the thing back on the ground. I want to tell you, he's using every trick in the book right now, Mark.
He's definitely trying, and I'm watching out the window here, and it's just came down through the beach there, and I think Thomas got it, you know, but
right.
It's definitely coming to the end, and, you know, but you definitely got to give Chad Wienen a lot of big congratulations.
No doubt.
He's coming around here and the fists are in the air, and
That's right.
It's awesome, guys.
Round the last turn, and here it is, putting the seal on 2015 and his 4th consecutive championship. Chad Wienen, your AMA Pro ATV Motocross champion.
Wow, and deservedly so, Rodney, without question. Consistently throughout the season, proven to be the best man, and throughout the course of this series, the best man won.
No doubt about it. 80 wins. That will be enough to take the overall win, I think, here today as far as
for sure.
for the Loretta Lynn Dirt Days. That ties him with Joe Bird at 5 wins, though, so he now shares the ownership of the birdhouse. Now, if he wins 6, does he get to rename it?
What are we going to call it?
I don't know.
The bird nest, Chad's nest. It doesn't seem like it right, you know. But congrats to Chad. He's a heck of a rider. Yeah, he's a heck of a rider, and congratulations to Yamaha and Donnie Luce and all their support as well. Thanks.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, especially gratitude. That right there will also, I think, win the Manufacturers Cup for Yamaha
sure.
also. That is a pretty impressive feat by itself. So, and congratulations, like you said, to Donnie Luce. Congratulations to Wienen Motorsports, that whole team over there, really putting in the work and the efforts. Congratulations to that guy right there that pulled it all together, that made it all happen. Congratulations to Chad Wienen, 4-time AMA Pro ATV Motocross champ.
Hey, Rodney, and I got to throw this out there. We got to get Baldwin to start making an energy drink, man. Do you feel the energy coming off of this guy during this race right here, man? Are you kidding me? I'm going to tell you something. You and I just went up 400 RPM easily, man, when this guy came into the booth. We were feeling a little rundown. We mentioned this morning. Baldwin comes in, man. We all get goosebumps. We're all standing on our feet.
Come on,
the horsepower's rising, so we got to get this guy the energy drink. We got to bottle the Baldwin.
Baldwin powered announcing staff.
Thanks, guys.
That's for sure,
congratulations to Chad and everybody on his program. It's awesome.
No
nice
doubt.
being here. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up and
No
standing
problem.
by
Thanks,
with us as we watch the waning moments of this pro class. Chad Wienen taking the win. Thomas Brown will get overall 2nd today, it looks like. Joel Hetrick will take 3rd. We got David Hagsman taking 4th, Ronnie Higgerson in 5th, Jeff Rastrelli is 6th, Nick Janusa 7th, Vital Kazanave is 8th, Joe Bird, 30th year, a 9th place finish. Congratulations to you, Joe. And Cody Jansen, last year's AMA Pro ATV Rookie of the Year, rounds out the top 10 there. Pretty impressive, to say the least. That is, I know, Moto 2 results. I'm not sure, but I think that's kind of close to what we're going to see as far as the overall results, as well as, wow, that's how a champion rests after a day like today.
I'm going to need a nap, Rodney.
Oh, I know. I feel you.
I'm spent right now.
I know. We're probably going to go quiet for a couple of races here as we
turn that music on for a minute, Rodney.
Wow, I know we're going to be heading down to Casey Creek here in just a few moments. They told us, now I don't know, but they said, I didn't catch it myself, but they tell me Joe Bird got the whole shot. We're going to double check that and make sure we'll get the whole shot award handed out. We'll do the championship crowning. We'll do the top 3 overall. We got a lot of cool things going on, and we'll continue with Loretta Lynn's Dirt Days, the 30th version of it, right here on RacerTV.com right after this.
There's one. What is that?
It's Mondeo call.
That's way better than my duck call.
If you're on a diet of taking it up a notch,
It's just different.
drink Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL for any engine.
They're the best off-road riders in the world, and they're coming your way every day on RacerTV.com. Check out all the action from the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. With live race coverage every week and weekend wrap-up shows. Racer TV has everything you need to know about the fastest riders in the woods. It's all on Racer TV. All racing, all the time.
Look, we know you're busy, and we know you love racing. So each week, make sure you watch the Racer X Show with race highlights from our Achereby's Pro Motocross and Yoshimura Road Race segments. We keep you current. Plus, flat track, hill climb, GNCC, ATVMX, National Enduro, and more. We have interviews with the world's best and keep you up on the latest racing news. Watch the Racer X Show, new on Tuesdays and available 24/7 right here on RacerTV.com.
Lucas Oil Pro Motocross returns to the legendary Ironman Raceway in Crawfordsville, Indiana for the second annual Bud Light Ironman National. Saturday, August 22nd. Located just 6 miles off I-74, exit 39. Be trackside with the Dirt Flies as the world's fastest motocross riders battle in bar-to-bar action that will get your fist pumping. Buy your tickets at the gate or in advance at IronmanProMX.com. Feel the roar of the speed-only motocross springs. The races start at 1 p.m. Saturday, August 22nd at Ironman Raceway. That's Saturday, August 22nd at 1 p.m.
And welcome back to RacerTV.com's live coverage of the 33rd annual running of Dirt Days as we saw a big shot of the crowd. Turn that camera back around and let those race fans wave at us one more time. Turn that camera around. How you doing, Loretta Liz? We got a nice crowd there ready to help celebrate with the championship win of Chad Weenan, the overall win of Chad Weenan, and also the podium celebrations of our top 3 overall here as Casey Greek is with us down on the podium right now. And Casey, I know the celebrations are underway. Brother, there is Joel Hetrick making his way up, and what a great end to a great season. Real quick before we throw it down to you, let's go ahead. We got a drawing for the Matthew Kesey 50-50 drawing for his fundraiser out in the hospital in Minnesota right now. And I'm going to, have you mixed these up real good? I'm going to mix them up some more. Got the white tickets. If you bought the 50-50 drawing ticket for Matthew Kesey, the raffle tickets here, we got the ticket number for you, 8652769. And how much is that? So you'll be getting $600 in the 50-50 drawing, 8652769. We're going to be here in the tower for a few minutes. You can come up. And we got 2 more drawings. That's for the actual money. This is for the race resume, 8652641, and a personalized what? And a personalized race poster, 8653419. If we drew your ticket out there, stop up here to the tower. We'll make sure that we get you what we need to get you. And thanks to all of you folks that donated to Matthew Kesey's. And thanks to you guys down there on the podium for a great and spectacular 2015 Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship season. And thanks to that guy right there who's coming up to the podium, who celebrates 30 years. Woo! He gets the whole shot right here at Loretta Lynn's. Put your hands together for Joe Bird, ladies and gentlemen. Casey.
Joe, we come in here, Loretta Lynn's, been here 30 years. So a lot of times you've left that gate. Right before that moto, we were standing there talking, and I watched you take the line that we talked about, and you pulled the whole shot. Tell us what it means to pull a whole shot, to be here this many times, and all what's going on with Joe Bird.
Well, yeah, man, I watched your guy actually get the whole shot. You kind of nudged me, so I watched your little fella get the whole shot, and I picked the same spot, so thank you. But, yeah, this is, man, I don't know, probably my 30th year, I know for sure, and counting TT and motocross and open class, 450 class, 250 class. I think I've started on this gate like 190 times. I think I've gotten like 46 hole shots, I think, something like that. And I'll take this one right here. Not, you know, I can't thank that dash of power enough. You know, I'm 235 pounds, 43 years old. If it wasn't for that dash of power and exhaust, I could not have done that. So thanks, Dan Lamy, for your exhaust and your awesome engines. Thanks, Dasa.
Awesome. Congrats, Joe. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we're down here with Thomas Brown. Your third place overall, second place at Moto, so improving, getting that second out there. Start was a little rocky after the start, so tell us how that Moto went and what were you playing there?
Oh, man, we got a decent start, made a few good passes right off the bat, and we were in the mix for the hunt. I've gone to a back corner and tried to make a pass, and got hangled up a little bit and fell way back and then had to come back. And, man, a lot of passing, a lot of fun out there. The track was super rough, but made the racing great. I can't think the Maxxis Yamaha would handle any better. I mean, the Fox suspension, Walsh, just everybody's working together, and the program's getting better and better, and we're moving up. I still want to be on top of that box, but I'm happy with today. Got second that moto, and Joel had a charge at the end, and man, he put it on, but we were able to hold it off and do what we needed to do. But to a degree, we're gonna come back next year swinging. I'm ready for 2016.
All right, Tom, that sounds good. We'll go over here with your second place finisher, Joel Hetrick. Joel, hard-fought battle that second moto. Unbelievable ride. First moto, you made it look too easy. So second moto, you wanted to give us all something to cheer for. I will say you were a complete savage that moto. It was unreal. We were all on our toes watching you. Tell us what went through your mind when you stubbed it in the corner over here.
Oh, well, it really, really sucked. I wanted to have a good battle with Chad and end the season strong. Didn't end up like that. I stalled in that corner, put a hard charge on, and caught up to third. Still got second place overall. So I said I wanted to be on podium, and we're here. So we finished the season where I wanted to be, second in points. Next year we're going to put a hard charge on and try to get that championship. But it was a good year. I've had a lot of moto wins, and I can't complain. I've won the Whole Shot Award, the Qualifier Award, won 10 or 11 motos, so it's an awesome year for me, and I can't be depressed about it.
Big year for Joel Hetrick, guys, and we know that kid's going to come out swinging next year. Give him a round of applause, you guys. All right, we're here with the new four-time champion, Chad Wienen. Your overall winner for the day with a 2-1. Absolutely come out that moto and rode a solid moto, got yourself out front, did what you needed to do. And we talked about this after the last moto. What was playing into effect? Were we just going to sit back and just play it safe? You said, if I can take the moto win, I'm going to take the moto win. And that's what you went out and did. Tell us how it went down.
Man, the safest place is out front. And, man, we ripped a good start. I believe it came out of the first turn in around third or fourth. And, man, those Maxxis tires hooked up good, the Alaska engine. And, man, even the bumps, man, out there and those Fox shocks is soaking everything up. And, man, the Wienen Motorsports team just putting it all together. And consistency, man. And it took me a long time to learn that, and today it paid off again. And man, so sweet to have four, man. It's so surreal, and I just can't believe that it's happening.
Well, we got your red plate again. This is for leading the points, but we're actually going to have Harv Whipple, the AMA official from AMA Pro Racing, come up and present you with what you really want.
Thanks, Casey. On behalf of the American Motorcyclist Association, AMA Pro Racing, MX Sports Pro Racing, and the ATVPG, I'd like to congratulate Chad Wienen for the 4th consecutive year AMA Pro Racing champion. Congratulations, Chad. And then I believe Donnie Luce from Yamaha would like to say a couple words as well on behalf of Yamaha. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Yamaha, I'd like to congratulate Chad and the entire Wienen Motorsports team. It's been an incredible year. You finished it up with a win at the end. That's a true testament to what a champion you are. And I'd like to present you with a nice Yamaha racing watch. And I'd also like to present this to Paul Turner. He needs to step up here and get one for himself. But I'd like to There you go. Congratulations, gentlemen. It's another hard-fought year, and we look forward to doing it again. Make it 5.
All right, before we get wild and get the celebration everywhere, Joel forgot to thank a couple people, so let's go through it real quick.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. There's so many great sponsors that got me up here this year. I'd like to thank my mom and dad, Hetrick Racing, Corrosion Specialties, Dassa Motors, Awesome Power this year, Maxxis Tires, Elka Suspension, Impact Solutions, Rip It Up Films, Hetrick Racing, Walsh Racecraft, Pafford EMS. Oh man, there's so many. Precision, Ori Grips, FSI, HPC, Spartan Fabrications, my mechanic Brandon for wrenching on the bike all year. Oh man, my fiance Carly, all the fan support this year was great. and everyone who came out and everyone who's watching at home, thank you.
Awesome, you got it.
And my trainer, Dom, I just started a new program this year, and it really stepped it up for me, and that's it.
All right, back up to the studio to you guys. We'll get ready for the champagne celebration.
All right, champagne celebrations getting ready to get underway. And wow, Megawatt, Matt Watson, I got to say, everything that we bargained for as far as the championship finale is concerned, everything we'd hoped for, everything that we wanted, the drama, the excitement, the thrills, the chills of it all took place in both those motos. That second moto really, really, I think, put the icing on the cake for 2015. That's the way this whole 2015 championship has unfolded. A lot of unknown variables, a lot of wild and wacky and crazy and cool things happening. And to me, the stage is set for 2016.
Absolutely. We couldn't have written a better script, Rodney. This thing played out just the way a national championship should, just the way a title race should. And, man, we had the favorites, we had the underdogs, we had the tough guys, we had the smooth guys. And, you know, a 15-point game going into the last round. So with that being said, hey, we're going to send it back down to the Greek for just a second.
All right, down here, Big Chad winning, your 4-time champion. He's got a couple people he needs to thank, too.
Yeah, I got to thank the guys at Fly Racing, man. This awesome gear this year, the 2016, is so nice. And guys at SSI Decals, Ian, man, can't thank for everything that he does and his support here at the Nationals. And, man, we got PT on the wrench, man, just killing it this year. And Mikey Walsh, dynamic duo, man. They know how to do work, and they keep this Yamaha rolling. And, man, Donnie Luce coming in and sharing this moment, man, it just means so much. It's his 4 short years ago that they picked me up, and man, we've been a great combo ever since. And I got a huge hats off to the guys at Yamaha Motor Corporation, the guys at Walsh Racecraft, of course, NGK, Maxxis Tires, of course, VP Racing Fields, Behringer, Anti-Gravity, CWI, guys at Wrath Racing, FMF, man, those guys. They create some power with those exhausts, and I really love them. And guys at Hinson Clutch Components, Fox Shocks, Goldspeed Wheels, man, there's so many. Evans, Precision, CP Carrillo, Fuel Customs, WPC, Streamline, Coxman, Ryan Cox coming in solo this weekend, and haven't seen him for a while at the races, so cool to see him. And my wife, Danica, family, friends, man, making the trek down here means so much to me for them to be here. And ATV Motocross here, and man, they got a nice home here, and I really love it. Loretta's, thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, these guys all got a bunch of swag to throw out to you guys. They're going to throw some champagne, and then we're going to throw swag everywhere. So everyone get in here tight, and let's go crazy this last time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go crazy one last time as the celebrations continue down on the finish line podium. Again, congratulations to Wienen Motorsports, to Yamaha, to Chad Wienen in particular for another spectacular ride. The final point standings, 479 to 462. Thomas Brown will be third in the championship points with 423. Rastrelli takes fourth. Joss Upperman rounds out the top 5 in the championship points race here this year. Team Yamaha winning the manufacturer points, cup points, 487 to 486. Joe Hetrick dominating the SSI Decals Whole Shot Championship with 19 points, and he also took the win in the ATVRiders.com top qualifier as well. 9 out of 11 races, Joel Hetrick was the fastest qualifier. And look at that, the celebrations are underway down there as the champagne is about ready to fly. And already done so. They're drinking
absolutely,
it.
Man.
They're drinking it. That is the taste of celebration and victory that Chad Wienen is sipping on right now. Final and closing thoughts on this one, Megawatt.
Wow. That's my final closing thought. Wow. Like I said, everything you should find in a championship. A great race, tight points, an underdog, defending champ, a long shot, and a super rough course.
Yep.
Everything you could dream for in a final round in a championship race. And everyone who was here today got to witness history.
No doubt about it. Another page written in the...
I'm honored to have sat here and called it with you, dude. I'm just so pumped that I was here and involved with this title with Chad. Just love it, dude.
No doubt. And again, I feel honored to be a part of this whole thing as well. And with that, that's going to close out the 2015 championship season, as well as we say, get us excited for what's to come in 2016. Still a couple more rounds of racing in 2015. We got the Edge of Summer Motocross on August 28th. In October, we'll be down at the Pro Challenge in Texas. But in the meantime, a lot of folks looking forward to 2016. And who's going to claim championships then? We're going to find out.
Hey, man, I just know I'm going to be here to watch.
I know, me too.
That's what I can tell you.
Every round, I don't want to miss one moment of the 2016 season, no doubt about it. Well, that's going to do it for us here from Loretta Lynn's in the 33rd running of this Dirt Days. On behalf of Casey Greek, my good buddy right here, Mr. Megawatt, Matt Watson, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Good day, everybody.